Guys, shit is freaking crazy right now. What the hell is going on?
Dude, I cannot believe the news today.
Yeah, I think pretty much what we need is a guide to not being a fucking piece of shit. Hit the music. And welcome to the show called How Not to Be a Fucking Piece of Shit. Hypothetically speaking, let's say you get super liberated when you get high. I mean, sexually. You see a beautiful woman. Do you A, stare at her until she comes over and asks you to take her to bed? B, put your hands on her without asking or her saying to do it in hopes that she'll just bang you? Or C, say hi, see where the conversation goes, and walk away if there's not any chemistry?
Well, you'd have to be a freaking idiot not to know the answer to this one. Seems pretty obvious.
Yeah, I'm going to go from lifelong of doing this. The answer would be C.
Great job. You're both right. Now, on to round two. The points are doubled, and there's always a risk I will call you a fucking piece of shit. In this round, pay close attention to the wording. Let's say you're a complete piece of shit, and you have a clan. Do you A, treat people as equals as not to trivialize them and their experiences? B, create an open forum for them to feel included? Or C, bully females who want to join your clan into sending you nudes of themselves and then share them in a private Discord server?
Let me see. You said I'm the pile. I think I know what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, C makes me cringe so freaking much, man.
Congratulations for picking what a complete waste of life would do. Now, on to the last question. You're playing a game and you hear someone saying racist things. You hear someone else saying sexist things. What do you do? A, report them for being pieces of shit. Call them out in chat for their behavior. C, just chalk it up and say, hey, it didn't happen to me, so it sucks, and while it's not okay, what can I do?
Well, man, I tell you what, I can't tell you the number of times I've heard things like this being said, and I've done nothing about it.
Yeah, same here, man. And I'll be honest with you, my daughter wants to play video games, and so help me God, if some motherfucker talks to her the way that any of this shit happens to her, I would do everything in my power to destroy them. But here's the thing, though, okay? What if people are out there and they don't have anybody like us or like me to step up for them and that? So what we have to do is we all have to step up, and we all have to do that for everyone because, it's just right. We have to be that change that we want to see.
Guardian down.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us today. Welcome to episode 50 of Guardian Downcast. We're a couple of dads that talk about all things in the Destiny universe, discuss other topics in gaming and entertainment, and interview content creators and community members to find out more about them. I'm your host, The Gator. And my co-host, Hazel, is here as well. Damn, 50 episodes, Hazel. You know what I did today? I listened back to our very first episode we did today at work while I was melting in the sun in Florida right now, and I still can't believe how we've evolved over these 50 episodes, man.
Jesus, man. I can't even imagine going back to episode 1. I really don't want to. It'd make me cringe, I think.
I think it would. It was pretty cringy, man. I got to tell you. How's your week gone, man? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ask you that.
Oh, you're good, man. All right. I haven't had really any water troubles, so I'm okay. So yeah. But besides that, yeah, not really too much else going on. Just a normal week aside from all the Destiny BS. So yeah. What about you, man?
Boys, I'm embarking on a kitchen remodel. So God save my soul. And so I hope I don't end up being divorced after this is over. Because we're already pulling tile, we're getting the bids, we're doing all the demo ourselves. I'm probably going to kill my wife. No, I'm not going to kill my wife, just for the record. But, well, hey, good deal, guys. Glad to hear you're having a decent week. No emergencies this week, Hazel.
Exactly. I appreciate that. And the other thing, though, is I think it's more God Save Your Wallet.
Oh, yeah, that's already, it's her show. She's running it, so I have no voice in that matter, so we've waited a long time for this, so we well planned it out. Well, good deal. I am really happy to introduce our guest tonight. He's a father, a gamer, He's one of the original Dad's Tales podcast hosts and now a co-host of the Distinguished Gentleman podcast. You might also find him streaming on twitch.tv/Baroquereaper. One of the inspirations for this very podcast, our friend, Mr. Baroquereaper, a.k.a. BBQ. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, man.
Hey.
Honestly, if you want to bring up renovation, you need to go look up, it's called Dude Dad.
Okay.
And it's this guy and his wife. They have kids, and they do videos, and they do my wife during a renovation. And it's him dressed as a woman doing joking things like, I'm going to Target. Oh, I don't think I like these cabinets. Oh, and then like they also have the reverse. And it's like my husband during a renovation is like, oh, babe, I need a new 16. And like it's her doing it. And they're hilarious because,
Dude,
well, they're very truthful.
It's called Dude Dad?
Awesome.
Yes, Dude Dad.
All right, I'm going to look that up.
I just subscribed.
I'm going to need to look that up because I'm probably going to need the comedy relief. So.
Oh, he's one of those ones that I just watch every now and then, and like he put a motor in one of those little tight cars.
Oh no!
For his, I mean, he does some fun stuff. Like he also changed his wife's Prius horn so that it would play stuff. So like he changed it so every time she honked it, it started playing Baby Shark.
Oh my god, that's awesome! I got to see this guy's stuff now.
Yeah. Basic, fun stuff. But the when they do imitations of each other, it's hilarious.
Nice. Well,
awesome.
Let me just give an overview of tonight's show. First, we're going to find out more about BBQ here, find out more about his story. We're going to mention a few shows and games maybe we've been watching, maybe something that might be of interest to everybody. Then he's going to try his luck at our new and improved Fast Fire segment we call the Speed Run. We're all going to chime in about what we're doing now in week 3 of Season of Arrivals. Hazel's going to go over this week's TWAB, and we might mention a few Destiny community news stories that honestly came out of nowhere. So, and finally, we'll answer Twitter and Discord questions from our community and add 2 songs each from everyone here for our Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify and iTunes. Ready, BBQ?
I'm ready.
All right, man, let's roll. Baroque, thanks, man. We're really honored you're on tonight. We really thank you for spending the time with us tonight.
Anytime.
All right, cool deal. Well, let me start with this. Where'd you grow up? Where would you call home as a child?
California. So I was actually born in New Orleans, but I only lived there for a year. And then my parents moved back to the San Francisco Bay Area, and we lived there till I was 8. And then we moved up into a small little town just south of Sacramento. And I actually lived there until I left for college, which was late in life. Okay. So California will always hold a special place in my heart, though there's no way in hell I'm ever going back there.
Okay. Is there a reason why, or?
That state keeps getting crazier and crazier. I may not be the most conservative, and I'm not super liberal. I'm kind of middle of the road, but they're too far gone for me.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
That's funny. So what do you do? What's your job, sir?
I am a systems engineer, but I work with a load balancing system, and I'm actually the resident expert on it and man it. So I am not a manager. Kind of got a Dwight Schrute. I'm like the assistant to the regional manager kind of role. Because I'm just the team lead, but I kind of direct my team underneath my manager. He lets me kind of run it, but I don't have to deal with all the messy, HR managerial crap. It's kind of nice.
Good deal, man. Well, where are you residing now, and what's your family makeup?
So I live in the Salt Lake Valley.
Okay.
So I'm out in Utah, and it's just me, my wife, and my 2 daughters.
That's
so,
right.
It's a very interesting world to live in with daughters.
How's life with another little baby now?
That has been an extreme difference. Apparently, TV shows changed a crap ton from one child to the next. So, this one is not watching Strawberry Shortcake and My Little Pony. She's watching Puppy Dog Pals and Muppet Babies, which is a remake of the original. And it's been a trip trying to get used to all that. But, I've also seen every episode of Puppy Dog Palace 7 times. It sucks because there's only like 2.5 seasons, and we see them all.
Oh man, that's terrible.
Jeez. I'm kind of right there with you to a degree.
Yeah.
My daughter and I have been watching, or my wife, we've been watching Pokemon. So thank God there's only 23 seasons of 50 episode seasons, to make it through. So
don't worry. I've seen all those because my oldest hit Pokemon and has never looked back. She isn't 23 years old, but she has watched every episode at least twice. All of them. She loves Pokemon and Minecraft, but it's cool with her because we've gotten to that point where playing video games with her isn't necessarily a chore. When you have like a 4-year-old, like they want to play, but it's like, yeah, basically I'm not going to let her play. But like we've gotten Minecraft Dungeons, and we've actually been playing that together. She's a higher level than me because she's been playing it. She plays it all the time, and I play it, once, maybe twice a week. But she's the one that dies before I do. It's hilarious. And I always ask her, and she's like, I don't know why I'm dying. It's like,
all right, sir. So what is your gaming history, man?
Dude, I am old school. I started out on an Atari 2600. Pong, Sequest, Chopper Attack. I've been playing since then.
Chopper Attack. It just came back to me, man. That's awesome. Old school. Game. I love this, man.
Empire Strikes Back, where you had to go and loop around the AT's legs, and stick in a button, and that was all you had.
Yep, that's it. There was no no alternate buttons. It was it.
And the games had a switch for mode A and mode B that could switch between, and like
that's right.
Space Invaders, it would shrink the size of your spaceship or make it really fat, and that's where I started, and I don't think I've ever looked back. I took like a break shortly after high school, so like I never got the whole Xbox section. I just missed that small era, and then got back into it with Xbox 360, which I had that over a PlayStation just because my friend who lived in Washington at the time had one, and he's like, dude, we can game together like we used to, and I'm like, that was the nail in the coffin. Xbox it is.
That's awesome.
So you've been Xbox to this day, right?
Sort of. I have I had a PlayStation 1 and 2.
Right.
I missed that, but I have a PlayStation 4. I have an Xbox. I have a Nintendo Switch. I have a PC. I have a lot. I don't currently have PlayStation Plus because I just wasn't using it to its full potential, and it expired, and I'm like, I'll get it later, and I just haven't got it. And now with working from home, I work in my home office, which is where I used to game.
Right. I
moved the TV into my guest room because I needed it was too much time in this little room.
I know, man. I know how it is.
My office is the smallest room in the house.
Right.
It's like a little 8x10 bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I moved the TV and my Xbox, and I haven't even moved like my PlayStation or anything else from here into there.
Right.
But it was too much. I couldn't do it anymore. And my wife's like, and I'm like, I think I need that separation. So it feels like, hey, I'm not at work, and I don't start clicking on stuff and doing work while I'm at home when I'm supposed to be having fun.
Right. It's such a distraction, man. I mean, I'm in the same boat. I'm in a 4-bedroom house. The 4th bedroom is my office, and it's like the smallest bedroom. I'd say it's maybe 9 by 12, maybe. It's not much bigger.
That's my guest room.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's okay. My original one that I have when I got the 360, the room was 8 feet, or I don't even think it was 8 feet. I mean, it literally had a TV on a little stand from IKEA, and then a futon, and there was about 2 feet between them.
Yeah, in the 80s, they called those dens.
It was something like that, but this was a duplex we were renting, and it was just when it was built, it was my whole room, and at that point I had one kid, and so she had her room and we had our room, and that was just my office, and we got it with the intention of it being my office. But now I have a what was this 5-bedroom house? I have my own personal bathroom down here because it's the basement. This is my floor.
Nice. Baroque corporation. Nice.
Well, that's the, everybody from the DTP, when I moved here and I bought this, they're like, how big is that house? I'm like, oh, it's 3,600 square feet. And I'm like, holy crap. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it is kind of a step up from my 1,300 square foot apartment we were living in.
Just a little.
And yeah. So basically my basement, it's half finished, but I mean, it's almost as big as my entire apartment was before. And it's just me down here for me.
Well, I've asked this question of everybody from the Dad's Tales crew, past and present, and I'm going to ask you this. How did you first meet the guys at Dad's Tales?
So buckle up. I'm going to tell you the whole story.
Do it, please.
So
Exclusive.
I got the Xbox 360 and I only had one friend, and that was my buddy at that point in Washington.
Okay.
And we were playing Call of Duty. But at that time on the community dashboard for Xbox, they came up with this thing like, do you play Black Ops? And I'm like, hell yes, I play Black Ops. Are you a dad? And I'm like, yeah, we're having a dad's gaming event and you can join this clan. And I'm like, well, shoot, I'll sign up and I'll go play on this. And I joined that clan.
Okay.
And through that, with playing, that's how we were going. And that's actually how I got the game of Destiny, because they were having a giveaway. And I'm like, I don't even know what Destiny is. I didn't see any of the reels. I didn't play the beta because I was out of town that week because I was still in college. So I knew nothing of this game of Destiny, but I'm like, hey, everybody I know is getting it. I'll try and enter and win. And I actually won the game from them. And that was the thing. Once we got that, we started meeting in the clan. It's like, we type in like, oh, say, who wants to raid? And because I was like, I want to raid. Because that was like the biggest appeal to me.
Sounds like Kingsley.
And through that was how I met Justin. And that was actually, it was me, Justin, Boost, and a few other guys. Mm. And Stu was one of those guys who was kind of like the reserve, but he was always like, hey, you guys need another one? Hit me up, I'll be there.
That's what everybody's been telling me. He was always the guy like, you guys need a fourth? You need a fourth?
Hey, you guys need a third? I'll be right there. No problem. But if you guys need a fourth, I'll be there. And it's like, cool. And then what happened was our regular group was, just, we never had that spot. And Stu started filling in, and it was King's Fall was the raid, beating orcs. We literally got into a point where we did it and we had a good crew and we were working great. It was us, Racer, which Racer is just a funny thing because he's part of our group because I wanted to do a flawless Crota run and I put on 100.io, which, I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. And he was the only one that responded and he wanted it too. Me and him were both like, we're achievement hunting. We're going to get this bad boy.
Right.
And throughout that night, because I have a policy, generally if you see me gaming and I'm by myself, go ahead, join me in a party. And if I'm in a party, go ahead. I don't care. That was how I was. It took us 4 hours to get the flawless. Not because we were crap at the game. Me and Racer had it down. The problem is with Crota, if someone joins your fire team, it doesn't just let them join. It goes Guardian down and counts it as a death.
Oh, Hazel might have a little story about that.
Throughout the night, as we were going, we would get farther and farther, and then someone else would join. Till we got a full crew of 6. That 6 became the raiding group.
Nice.
Which is hilarious.
This sounds oddly familiar, doesn't it, Hazel?
Yeah, it does. And then completely berating somebody is what I did. And then they actually left after that. And
that's right.
No, we got it down to where we had us and then we had like 3 alternative members and we could swap out because we all had our jobs and we all knew what we were doing. Nice. We took other people flawless. It was not a problem. And that became kind of like the beginning of Dad's Tales crew. Like that's kind of how,
right.
Because and it's like, because of this, and then because I wanted flawless, because like that's really how that group kind of started getting together, and because we had such good chemistry, and well, you're a Titan, and you're a Hunter, and you're a this, and you're a that, and it just it became a very good cohesive group.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have to speak up here because I was in a clan like that, and I blew it. I left the clan. I was just getting overwhelmed with this was back when Forsaken popped up, and I still regret it to this day that I left those guys because we were the same way, Baroque. Everybody knew their job, and we would meet every Tuesday at reset. knock it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Man.
We definitely had a FOMO thing where like you felt like that was the down, like you wanted to be on because it's like, what are the guys doing tonight? I need to be part of this thing. What are they doing? Are they raiding without me? Are they doing strikes? What do we need to do? Do we need to run vaults of glass? And I mean, that was it was good because there was always people on, but that has always been one of those kind of sticking points with Destiny is 6-player. And I got 9 people that want to play together.
Yeah,
6-player.
And it was the opposite. Well, it was kind of different for me. I always felt like I was letting people down. They were waiting for me to show up. And if I didn't show up, it's like, damn, I let these 6 people down, So.
Well, that was also back when I was working a job where I worked 3 12s.
Oh.
And I worked from noon to midnight.
Oh.
Well, and then I couldn't come home and go to sleep. So I'd be up till 3 o'clock every night. Well, once my shift was over on Wednesday and I would stay up till 3, well, Tuesday or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I would be doing the same thing. I couldn't, so I didn't screw up my sleep rhythm. I would be up for hours playing the game. And that was actually, I see, one of the questions you have is about the patron saint of Skolas.
Yeah, what does that mean exactly?
So that was the joke. I would be up for hours. And that came out and it was the moments of triumph. I personally took dozens, of people through Skolas. They would, dude, he'll hit you up, he'll take it. And like, I would take people who just couldn't do it. I would go through it. And because one of the encounters with the Cabal, everybody would die. And I could just run around that one encounter was like one of the last encounters. I could run around that for hours without ever dying because I could just keep going invisible and doing it. And I'd bring them back, oh, I resed you. Okay, go there. And so I could do it. And that was the thing. I would just take people through Skolas. And in fact, I had one guy who I'm like, he's like, I can't do it anymore. I gotta go. I'm like, all right. So another person on my first, like, hey, you want this? And he's like, yeah. Come to find out he hadn't completed it either. And it was just like, all right, here's what we're going to do. You do this. You do this. This is how this encounter goes. Once you get the poison, you got to pass it on. When you get to this number, you pass it. You tell us. We come over here, right?
Right.
First time through, did it. And I mean, and that was the joke because it was everyone in the gaming community we were in at that time would be like, hey, if he's on and you haven't got this and you just message him, he'll probably take you through. And that's actually what happens. Like, hey man, can you, I'm like, yeah, you got another person? Yeah, me and my buddy. Okay, cool. Let's just go. And I mean, I could explain all of the encounters. I bet you if I got in there and played it one time, I could probably still be like, yep, you do this, you do this, you do this. Because it'd be like right in by, and because like I said, I had, I would start gaming at about 8 o'clock because at that point my wife was also working from 8 to midnight.
Right.
And so my daughter would go to bed, and from 8 o'clock on, I could play video games until wee hours of the morning because I was keeping my sleep schedule because I didn't go to sleep until 4, 5, 6 in the morning. And that was the thing. So I would put in 8 to 12 hour gaming shifts and get people Skolas or do just strikes. Or, I mean, I actually spent one day just running around the Cosmodrome and got like 1,000 spin metal.
Wow. Can we all?
But that was the joke was I became the patron saint of Skolas because it was, hey, you need to beat Skolas? Oh yeah, just go get Baroque. He'll take you through it.
Can we all agree that Skolas was the most pain in the ass boss ever in Destiny history?
Until they nerfed him.
God, he was terrible.
No,
man.
At first he was easy as hell because you had Galahorns and he was solar burn.
If the burn was
you would
solar
literally
burn.
just
Right.
if it was solar burn, you could like melt him in like 5 seconds and it's like that. And I've actually played one of those and it sucks because he's like you sit there and you kill him and you have to wait for all the mines to come up.
Right.
And you still do that and then you wait and then
the game was trying to
30
catch
seconds
up.
and all of a sudden here they come again and then you have to go defuse them and then all of a sudden you beat the encounter and it's like
I remember that.
I already killed him. I don't really need to wait for the mines.
Yeah.
But he was a pain, but at the same point it was a good challenge at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, see, I didn't get that lucky. I tried it like a bunch during like solar burn, and then when we found out that they were going to nerf like his damage and things like that, like I remember a group of us like we just like got on and we tried to do it and tried to finish it up because it was solar burn, I think it was solar burn like right before they nerfed him,
Yeah, it was actually the week the week before reset that they were nerfing him. It was slower burn again, and I think that was one of the busiest times for that.
Yeah, exactly. And we were trying it, and he just kept like taking us out because he had solar too. So as soon as he would like just hit you once, you were dead.
His scorch cannon,
damn cannon, man.
You had to learn where you could stand in that map.
Yeah,
because there were certain areas
we did not.
Which, if you come in, you go straight to the left, and you go up on that platform.
Yep,
and there are two areas. The enemies only come from your right side while you're looking at Skolas.
Right.
So you have one guy who is the watcher and sits there, and the other two basically jump up and shoot Galhorn, and then they land below. And if he does shoot, he shoots above and doesn't hit. See, I told you I've played this a lot.
No, I remember we did that exact thing.
And then if he gets too close, you leave and you go all the way to the other side of the map on top above the and then it's the same thing.
I remember
it was very easily, and it's like when mines came out, it was good if you had two go to one mine and one go to the other, and you had the one that went to the other was the guy who was the hunter who could go invisible.
God.
Well, it was on your Twitter bio. That's why I had to ask. So I mean,
it's fun. That became kind of the joke of it was that, but that's the reason is because I played a lot of Skolas.
Gotcha.
That's awesome. So. I see. Now I really want to go back to Destiny 1. And,
no, I can't.
It gives you nostalgia, doesn't it? Like there are some things that you miss from it.
You'll never see me again.
You weren't playing it right.
Oh my god. No, I'll get sucked down in Destiny 1 is what I'm saying.
No, that's I think I know Destiny 2 is its own thing, but Destiny 1 had a certain feel, and it was
did.
I still feel Destiny 2 is good, but it's still trying to do too many things versus Destiny 1 was, this is how it is. This is Crucible. This is PvP. This is what you do.
Quit your bitching. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's not overcomplicate it. And it feels like they've tried to innovate, and it's gotten a little too muddled.
Yeah, I swear, I felt like we didn't get it didn't feel like an upgrade. Destiny 2 did not feel like an upgrade, and they've been trying to reach that upgrade status ever since. We'll see. Come fall, maybe.
I think now, if you look at it, it is, but it's like, and the only reason it doesn't feel like that is because we've been along the bumpy ride, but it is now, but it's just like, it was a rough year one.
Yeah. Yeah. Say the least. Getting back on topic with questions here. So, give us some insight into what's it like with recording with, Justin and Stu and Jay on the podcast now.
Well, the new Distinguished Gentleman podcast.
Yeah. So what you hear in us goofing off, that's legitimate. That's actually how we are. That's how we are before the show. That's how we are after the show. That's literally how we are.
Yeah.
We're dicks to each other. We make fun of each other. We throw out jokes at each other's expenses. The one thing that is the joke is I tell a dad joke and nobody laughs. And the one that I told where it's like, what's the difference between, your wiener and your paycheck? You don't have to beg your wife to blow one of them. Justin didn't laugh. But if you could have seen his face, he looked like he was about to explode because he was holding it in so hard.
He had to keep the tradition alive, right?
Oh, that was the whole thing. It was like they love the jokes because I come up like my dad jokes. They were like, "You have some of the best ones. You find that." I'm like, "I try," and he's like, "We can't laugh because it was such a good bit." And I'm like, "You guys can go screw yourself." Because I listened to the episode when I was gone, on my Hawaii trip, and they're all telling dad jokes and laughing and hilarious, and I'm like, I want to kick you all in the nuts now. But that's the whole thing. Like when we say we're like brothers, me, Justin, and Stu, we really are. Like, I don't think it would take something major to break it. I mean, we have our own Twitter DM that we just talk to each other all the time. It's kind of just. That's how it is. We really are that tight knit group.
Lifelong friends.
Yes. And it's, that's the biggest funny part is like Justin has met most of us, but he's never met me and Stu in real life.
Yeah.
And so.
Really?
And yet
Wow.
Well, Stu lives in Canada. I live here in Utah. Justin lives out in, Philly and or Pennsylvania area. I don't even.
Somewhere there.
out there.
He lives in New England.
Yeah, New England for us.
He eats chowder and all that, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Chowder.
He messaged me one time and says, I do not live in New England. Where are you looking? I'm like, oh, sorry, man. I thought that was considered New England. He goes, no.
But that's the whole thing. That's why it's funny because like we never actually met.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, we'll hook each other. Like that's the thing. We would probably do about anything for each other. We really are that close.
That's good to hear, man. Well, you know, awesome. Boost, KDV, and Rocker Dude, they were some of the earlier members of the DTP. Do you still talk to those guys today?
Rocker left our group a while ago, and at one point he actually just straight up left. And honestly, not surprising. I think there was always friction with him, and part of it was he was younger and he had his ways, but there were some things like he came on and he was like, hey guys, we shouldn't cuss anymore because and like he tried to tell us how to do our thing. And it's like, if you want to change how you're perceived,
yeah,
cool, but don't try and force that. And there was always some friction. And I think it's me and him weren't really on bad terms, but it's not like we were like super buddy.
Sure.
And I think that's because like I see a lot of my younger me in him.
Right.
And so it's kind of like, and I don't want to be like, dude, you're doing this wrong. You're screwed. You know, it's that you got to learn it, but that, and then me and Boost is just kind of grown up. And like, since we've stopped the podcast, you know, we've kind of all drifted apart. Like we don't game anymore because Destiny 2 just hasn't had that. But you know, we still follow each other on Twitter. You know, we'll comment, and you know, me and him both like Dr. Disrespect, and it's interesting just because you know it's like we are still friends in my opinion. You know, if those guys ever reached out to me, I'm not gonna be like, no, screw you. I'm here. Well, I'm gonna hang out.
Let's keep in mind, we all have families that we have to. I mean, that's our true rock. You know, we all have families, and they're growing up, and I'm a little bit
life
ahead
changes
of you guys,
and life goes on. I mean, it's not like, you know, this isn't like me 4 years ago because, you know, I don't live in the same town. I have a house now. I have 2 kids. I mean,
sure. You know, everybody's different. Everybody's different. They have their own situations, and maybe Rocker was just young. He was one of the younger guys, and maybe, you know, that happens, man. That's part of any group. And the bigger the group, the harder it is to have everybody be on the same page, I think.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Hazel?
Awesome. Yeah. So, all right, sir. Well, okay. Let's kind of go a different direction.
I agree.
So what, how did you find Destiny 2?
Well, I played the crap out of Destiny.
I mean.
Like I said, that was that whole thing of I didn't know what it was, and the gaming community I was in at that point had a thing, and everyone was doing it. And I literally went every day and entered their Glean or whatever. I think it was Glean, thing. And I entered every day to get the daily entry to win it. And like he was like, you had the most entries out of anyone because you did absolutely everything, and like you had the most, and you won it. And I'm like, oh, cool. And I got it, started playing it, and I think I was definitely one of those people where I played Destiny. And I'm like, I don't understand quite what the point of this game is. I'm just playing, and then I hit level 26, and I started doing the in-game stuff, and then it's just like, ding, I got this. I understand this game. This is how this is, you know, this is what I'm supposed to. Not that I didn't like the game, but it was just one of those, you know, I think I was like one of many people, like I think most of the community was like, Destiny, I don't quite get the point of the game because it doesn't really have a really thought out story. It's kind of just crap's happening. I got to go kill this stuff. Oh, hey, new thing. I got to kill them too. Cool. And you were just doing it because it was fun to kill stuff. And it was kind of engaging, but not coherent quite, and good stuff. But, you know, like, and then you get to the end game, like I said, and then you vault a glass. That, I think the first time I went through that's when I was just like, we got a problem here, Houston, you know, because I'm going to be on this thing quite a bit because especially my first thing to drop out of there was the Vision of Confluence. And let me tell you, I never looked back from that one. That was
great gun.
That was
until
the
they
gun
put it away.
Me.
Yeah.
Still my favorite.
That was
gun.
the gun for me though, because like I started out that game using pulse rifle, and then I got to scout rifles and never looked back.
The thing was a freaking laser. It was laser focused, man.
And I'm never gonna remember. I'm never gonna forget that. Dunk, dunk, dunk.
Yep,
dunk,
that's it.
dunk, dunk, and it's like, oh,
Add dead, add dead, add dead, add dead. It was that quick. It was so great a gun.
yeah.
Yeah, God, man, I miss that gun. Come on, Bungie, you got to bring it back in the fall, please. You know, we got the Destiny.
They're bringing back Vaults of Glass, and I heard that, and I'm like,
ooh, wait a minute, whoa.
I didn't think about that actually in terms of like them bringing back like
they got to bring back something with it, and they might bring back some of them guns, and if they bring back any of those, you know, Fatebringer, Vision of Confluence,
Vex Mythoclast. Vex Mythoclast. I'm getting excited.
I don't care about that really.
Are you kidding me?
I'm more excited for like Fatebringer.
I want them to bring that back in the broken form though. That it was for like the 2 months when it first came out, where you could just walk around Crucible and just like look at people. You're dead, and you're dead. Oh, and you're dead. Oh no, hey, your friend's dead, and he hasn't even spawned yet. So,
yeah. Now that they're sunsetting weapons, they have no excuse now. Now they can make things powerful, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
That's what they sold us on.
That's how they made it sound like. All right, we're gonna do that so we can, because we have to keep upping and blah. And I'm like, yeah. Like, and that was a whole thing. Like, I've missed some of that because I think last season just kind of. I hit the I'm burnt on playing doomy bounties. Like I can't just keep logging on to do bounties incessantly just because.
It just gets monotonous even for me, and I love bounties. It does get monotonous. It gets monotonous.
Well, that's the thing. Like last season, I got to level 69, and part of that was on purpose. I just stopped, and because I'm like, I don't really, and I had no, like, I wanted some of the other stuff in the past, but I had no desire. Like, the desire just dropped because it's just like, hey, the new season, what is it? A public event that you can't play with all your friends, and it really needs a lot of people. Otherwise, it's just no fun.
Yeah.
Or, you know, these other little PvP things that are kind of meh, and like it just. But the big bulk of the content was trials. I gave trials an entire month of my life trying, and it was just because of the system. It was all I went against was people who had been flawless, and I'm like, I'm just trying to get to 3,
right?
And it was, you know, pain in the butt to get to, I've done it one time, and it was just too much work. And it's like, I used to love trials. I went flawless all but the very first part for year 1 of Destiny 1. And that was just because it was a crap show, and I didn't know streamers then, and that's actually how I got to know streaming was trying to go flawless, and that's how I know a bunch of streamers now is from trying to go flawless.
Sure.
But this one, I can't. Even when I've gone on other things and I try, I seem to get stuck playing either the same teams that just wiped the floor with me, or I get stuck with like 3 teams back to back that like their skill level is definitely above mine. And I don't think I'm bad at the game, but I mean, playing against them, I might as well just, you know, uninstall the game, kind of, you know, playing.
I know the feeling. Yeah. Well, hey, Broke, I got to ask you, man. Dude, what's up with the gamer tag?
Okay. So I got the Xbox 360, and I was like, I'm going to try and Reaper. I love, you know, bat skulls and stuff. Yeah. Like, it's one of my things. Because I wasn't paying attention, and it gave me my original gamer tag of Dusty Rose 71, and I'm like, oh, hell no. I mean, it was something like that, but it was just one of those like, not going to do it. So I did it, and I put in Reaper, and it came up with, you know, like Reaper 9782735, and I'm like, oh hell, you know, like I'm never going to remember those numbers,
no.
You know, of like those. But then one came up was Baroquereaper, and I'm like, that sounds kind of cool. Boom, I'll take that.
Nice.
Little did I know that was just going to be who I was from then on forward. It was just like, you know,
you never know.
Like it came up like, here's a suggestion from Xbox for Baroquereaper. Oh,
Xbox gods have spoken.
And then the nickname of barbecue came about because, like I said, I played Call of Duty. That was what I still play Call of Duty.
Right.
But while playing in a lobby where I joined on, my friend was playing. I joined in on his game on Black Ops, but it put me on the opposite team.
Oh.
Nice.
And he was in game chat. And all of a sudden, he just hears a guy with a very thick Mexican accent, going, "Who is this Baroquereaper guy? He keeps killing me." And my friend started laughing so hard, he actually dropped his controller because he was laughing so hard because he knew, because then he looked and saw my name and he knew exactly who it was. But the guy was just cursing at me the whole time because I kept killing him. And then he told me, and ever since then, I bring that up, and it became the joke because people see my name, they do the quick glance, they see the B and the Q, and somehow it always becomes Baroquereaper. And so then it got shortened to barbecue, and then BBQ, so anything of that.
Right.
Which is fun. And you'll be amazed at how many people can't say the word Baroque. I've been Baroque. Yeah. They come up with very interesting names for it. And it's just like, you realize that's like in a whole like art movement style, right?
Okay.
It's the one with the big fat chicks that are naked.
I gotta admit, I had to check with Google to make sure I was spelling it right. I got it down now. But
yeah, so do I.
I guess you do, yeah.
But it's because of that. I have like email accounts with that. I have. Right. It's become just my thing, and I'm usually the only one. Just like my friend, he had a gamer account, and he changed his to Frantic Reaper because he was like, "Well, you had the Reaper, and I went with it." And he's like, he just told me he owns the original and then 2 and 3 because that's what he gave to his kids. Mm-hmm. And his nephew went, "Hey, I'm going to add you as a friend. Which one are you?" And he's like, "Well, what do you mean? I'm the original." And he's like, "Oh yeah, there's like 71 of them." And he's like, "What?" So I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm the most important one because that's my name.
That it's the Baroque period. It's long ago.
Yeah, it's like me. I'm old.
Nice. All right, sir. So, let's see here. So, are you still playing Destiny like as much as
not as much, but like yesterday I came down and I played and I did my Crucible matches and then I did my Gambit matches. And I did them all on my PC because I was down here right after work and I was just like, I'm gonna play because I was just frustrated with upstairs and my dog and my baby, and I tried to just watch a show and apparently I put on the TV to watch something for me, and the dog's barking, the baby's yelling and screaming, and it's just like, I can't watch a show. I put on anything for everyone else, they can watch it. And it was just one of those, like, everything had got to me that day. So I came down and I did. But like I said, it's just, I don't have that drive right now. And, my Guardian is, I think, 315-ish range because I haven't played. I want to, but I haven't been lining up with any of my friends to play Destiny. And it's like, that's really the draw for me on Destiny was that interaction with people. Playing by myself, I've done enough of that, and it got old.
It does. Yeah. It does, definitely. Well, I noticed, I was looking at your Twitter bio, and I noticed you like stand-up comedy.
Yes.
I love it as well. I've talked about it at nauseum. Who is your current favorite right now? I know there's a lot. There's a
lot. One of my favorites, I still go back and watch his stuff right now, is John Mulaney. I'm kind of in a John Mulaney.
My wife loves him.
He's, it's his community, his style of comedy gets me. But I mean, there's always still Gabriel Iglesias. I love him.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there's one I cannot think of his name. Like, it's like I love him and I cannot think of his name right now. And he's an Indian guy who doesn't sound Indian at all.
Oh yeah. Don't ask me.
Sanders Peters.
Yeah.
What is his name?
Something Peters.
Yes.
Oh.
Russell Peters.
Peters. He is still probably in my top 5 at all points in time because he pushes the lines in all the right ways and so he makes you think, but you are laughing your butt off while doing it.
Right. You know who
he's not apologetic, which is, I mean, like, I love George Carlin. I loved all his stuff. And it was because he's like, look, I'm just going to talk, and I'm going to talk about how it really is. And if you don't like it, screw you, because this is really how, and like, you know, they say you can't say this on the 7 words you can't say on TV.
Yep, right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mouth them really well so you know exactly what I'm saying. And, you know, he just hits those lines, you know, he pushes the line, but it also makes you think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. There was one I listened to. I actually watched him today on HBO Max, and hold on, I just popped up HBO Max. I want to make sure I get this right. He actually plays a part in the role Billions. He plays one of the traders.
Okay.
And hold on, I'll find it for you here. I can edit, so we can do that. No, I'll find it because I got to tell you guys about it. He is so funny, dude. So good. I mean, there's so many good stand-ups out there, but
one that I wish was still around would be Mitch Hedberg.
Mitch Hedberg.
That guy.
Yeah.
Mitch Hedberg. Yeah, he had just a way of thinking about things.
Yes.
That
He did.
it was just like that's so good.
I didn't know if you knew this, but I watched one of his last live concerts. He was at Orlando, at the Improv Orlando. And I think within a day or two, that's when he overdosed and he died. And I'll tell you what, he was so loaded that night. He was slurring so bad. He not to diss the guy, period, but
that was kind of those things.
It was a sad story because he was such a great comedy. He's such a great comedy.
You know, Chris Farley, same thing. Like that guy was,
sure.
He didn't know when to quit. And just like I've also read the book, the self-biography by Steve Martin, Born Standing Up.
Yeah. Was it good?
I love that.
Okay.
I've gone through that. I've read like the Drew Carey book that he wrote about his show, The Drew Carey Show. And like, I actually like I've done that. Like I go and I pick up copies of comedians' books about their lives because it gives you a full picture of, you know, like Steve Martin really plays the banjo. And why does he play the banjo? Because he thought it was a good idea to make him stand out. And he started in like Knott's Berry Farm doing this. Right. And it's just those, you know, you see more to the people. Like I still want to go see if I can find something on Robin Williams because
oh God,
when I found out he died, that was definitely one of those first times when like I physically felt like completely distraught because it's just like, man, he was. I don't think I saw a movie where I didn't like him. He was a light in comedy, man. He was a true light. Once he died, it felt like the world felt a little emptier. It really did. Yeah, like him when Phil Hartman died. I remember that was a big one. And it's just like, you know, but like you read the stories of like when Robin Williams went in to see Steve Reeves after his accident where he snapped his neck. And that was the first time he laughed. And that was actually the one time he was like, after he came and saw me and made me laugh, I knew everything was going to be okay. Right, right. Wow. By the way, the comedian I just saw was Dan Soder, son of a Gary. Got to see that. Okay. That's one of the. I watch a lot of stand up. That's what I love to do. Me and my wife can't go see stand up now, so I've been just digging and finding stuff. There's actually here a town south in Provo it's called Dry Bar Comedy, but they have comedians in there usually weekly, and they have a YouTube thing. And they have some older guys that are just they make me like I find I am now into a group where like it's an old guy was complaining about millennials, and it's just like going off or like, you know, it's like, you know, here comes my nephew, he's covered head to toe in rubber, plastic, and this to go rollerblading, and he's like, when I was growing up, you know, that wasn't how it is. You got hurt, that was your lesson. He's like, now this kid falls and it's like, well, it's the sidewalk. It's going to hurt him. He's like, yeah, that's the incentive to stay up on the rollerblades.
Another thing I saw on YouTube the other night, and you got to see this, guys. It's Dave Chappelle, 33 minutes of the Dave Chappelle. I think it's on Comedy Laughs or something. If you search for that on YouTube right now, it's his first. He does an outdoor concert because it's the COVID thing, and he says, "I know this is a little weird, but I want to see how this goes and see how everybody likes it." And it's like a candlelight. It's like a candlelight, like campfire almost. It's really nice and comfy.
It's Dave Chappelle definitely has good comedy, and he really does the same thing where it's just like, here's the line, I'm going to toe that line and maybe bend a little over it, but at the same time make you think about why that line is there, and should that line be there, or should we like move that line because it's really screwed up.
Well, he lives in Ohio. I mean, he's he.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is he doesn't live in Hollywood. He's not a Hollywood type. And he said the whole premise of this concert was that everybody was scolding him online because he didn't speak up with Black Lives Matter. And he explains himself, and you got to see it. You got to see it. It's so good.
I'll have to go watch that one.
Yeah, it is so good. So, okay, now that I've dragged this completely away from the interview.
Oh, real quick here. I do want to throw out one other thing.
What's up?
My wife does not really watch.
My wife.
Yeah, sorry. Exactly. She's not really big on comedy shows at all, like stand up. But she was like, we were like flipping through and we were trying to watch something, and I'm like, well, let's watch the stand up thing, okay? We've had a rough day, all this, so we put it on, and we were watching Michael Che.
That was
Issues.
Yeah, it was good.
She was cracking up. I mean, she was in tears at some of it. And
that's people are like, "Oh, I'm really into comedy." It's like you have to find the right comedian. Like my wife and I love Tom Papa, so I put on one of his specials.
Yes,
and he is great because he basically just talks about how marriage can suck. And like my wife started laughing, just like my wife does have a favorite.
It seems
I know it's a favorite. Because we have gone to see him live.
Nice.
There's a difference when she's willing to go pay to go see him live.
Right.
That is Jeff Dunham. She loves that.
I think it's situational. I think with comedians, it's like picking someone who's living the same life you are. When you can relate to them a lot easier, especially if it's your wife. I think that makes a big difference.
There's always a comedian out there who's doing your style of humor or something that resonates with you. It may not be the biggest comedian out there. It could be this smaller person. But you know what? There's always a guy who all of a sudden he'll just get, even if it's just a bit, there'll be a bit that all of a sudden just resonates with you. And that's the best comedy.
Mm.
Yeah, well, you guys are just going all over the board with this interview.
No, well, it's comedians are like books. You just got to find a good one that you really like and can dive into.
Yeah, like my wife loves certain books. I love certain books. We have certain books we like in common. But I love Ready Player One.
Yes.
If you've ever listened to our podcast, you know it. I bought a bunch of copies and gave away signed copies with my signature, which is worth absolutely nothing. Probably devalued the book. But
tear out this page.
Yeah, well, I signed the front cover. What are you talking about?
Oh, no. You Sharpied it? Oh, damn.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, damn.
If you're getting it from me, you're getting the whole 9 yards. But if you got it from me, you probably wanted it. And I mean, I wrote little messages to everybody.
Sure. Yeah.
But that was the whole joke. But, I love that book. My wife, she could care less about it. But that's because it's like old video game and movie nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
My wife, not into that. Yeah. She's definitely one of those, like, I'm not a gamer. But, she'll sit on her phone and play, her match 3 games all night long.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's how it works with us.
Yeah. All right, Hazel, I'm going to ask one more, but you ask one and I'll take us out.
All right, sir. So you have a motto or mantra, sir, you live by?
Be true to yourself. I spent years trying to figure out, who was I and like, how do I get liked by people? And, finally I got to the point and it's just like, I'm just going to be me and people are either going to like me or not. So and that's kind of how I try and live life. I'm not going to bend to the masses. I'm going to do me. And that's how, I feel better about being me and being wrong than not being me, but being accepted by everybody.
Right. No, that's a good way. And it follows along the same lines when I was talking to Ben. He says, if you're not happy where you're at, get the hell out. Make a change. And I think that's a very good way to live.
Yeah, you may not be able to change your situation, but you can change how you feel. Like you can change you in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, man, thanks for sharing your life with us. It's very generous of you to do that because I know some people don't want to talk about themselves. And I love that people come on this show and want to share their stories. More, when you see that gamer tag in Discord, you're like, I wonder what that guy's about, So it kind of has driven our show.
I'm pretty open. I mean, there are a few things I won't really go into super detail on, but I can gloss over stuff and give you feels about stuff. But and if I don't want to talk about it, I will just change the subject, or I'll straight up tell you, like, I'm just not going to talk about that, right. Because I have my reasons.
Sure. That makes sense.
And that's just fine,
Sure is.
But, I'm fairly open. I mean, I answer, and I'm try and be an easygoing guy.
Right.
Try.
Sure. No, dude, you've always been the kind of the straight arrow on the Dad Tales in the past. I always love that. So thank you. Well, before we move on, I know we've been talking, but I just wanted to go around the horn here and see if there's anything we're watching today that maybe, since we're all stuck in our houses for the most part, the quarantine is, it's still around. We still have to deal with this every day in our lives. I figured, what? Is there any shows or any movies or anything you guys are watching? Maybe one or two things each. Go around the horn here and maybe mention it. We'll start with you, Broke.
One of my big guilty pleasures is Forged in Fire on History Channel.
Okay. I've watched that. Yeah.
Well, right now they're doing a new series with it, and it's Forged in Fire versus the judges. So they bring back past winners, and they bring a knife, and they test them. And if you don't make the cut, then it's just you versus another guy, where they give you 4 days with some ridiculous things to make a weapon. They test it. And then at the end of that, you get to do an 8-hour challenge to build a different weapon against one of the judges.
Very cool.
And it's just, but it's interesting because you finally get to see the judges put the money where their mouth is on these things. And it's just like, damn, they really are that good. Nice. And they're judging. But I mean, I love that. I would love to get a forge, but I don't really have a place for one right at the moment or the money for one because that stuff's expensive.
Right.
I also watch like Street Outlaws. I'm like, I love cars as well.
You like quarter mile? You like quarter mile strip racing?
Yeah. Oh. I like racing. I like cars. Like my next door neighbor had a frame for a 32 Ford.
Okay. Bucket.
And I walked over because they say you got some of our mail. So I was walking over and I walk over. I'm like, what you building right there? And then it turned into an hour and a half of me standing, we just sitting,
so
talking about stuff.
What's your thoughts on suspension? What are you thinking of going there?
Yeah, it was kind of that kind of thing because he has the front end on, he's got the wishbones on, and it's just a chromed out frame still. And I'm like, oh, so what you put in? And he's like a 302. And I'm like, all right, what you going with? You going to go with the truck bed? And like we were, but he's like, I was amazed you could just identify it was a 32 by just the frame. I'm like, oh yeah, you got all the indicator. I knew it, but it was just like he didn't know. And like I said, an hour and a half conversation.
Yeah, that's a rare talent because I would never have guessed that. I know 60s, 70s, and 80s cars, but not 32s.
Oh, 32 Ford frame is very, very, like, it's one of those, after you see enough, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, that's
gotcha.
You get into it. But I like cars. I want to build a classic car. At one point in my life, I almost got a 69 Cougar, but it, timing didn't work out, and I missed it by a couple hours.
Oh, with those reticulating taillights. Oh, I remember those cars.
Oh, the reticulating taillights and the air pneumatic headlights
headlight
that
lamp.
Down.
That's right. Damn, that's a great car. I'm not even a Ford guy.
51 Windsor.
Nice.
In there, and I mean, it had but I mean, this one had, the vinyl top. I mean, it was ready to roll. It just needed work. And I would have probably still had that car because I would have, died before I sold it if I had it.
You cannot kill a 351. Just can't do it. They're just solid motors, man.
I know there's people that have the argument Cleveland versus Windsor and blah, blah,
right.
I know this because me and my older brother are like that. He's a Cleveland guy. I'm a Windsor.
It's just a block stamp. It's just a stamp on a block, guys.
Oh no, there's an oil pressure difference. Like we got into it one.
Okay, I won't go down that rabbit hole. I'm not a Ford guy, so I can't win that. I can't win that argument. So
here's the thing. Neither am I. I'm actually a Chevy guy.
That's me.
My family are Ford. Like they want Ford trucks. This, that.
I drive a Ford.
I like Chevys.
Yeah.
And my older brother has finally got to the point where he's just like, dude, I can't knock it because he wants his Camaro that his father-in-law has, and he's waiting for him to just be like, you can have this Camaro. And I'm like, I don't think it's gonna happen until he dies.
Did he wake up from his dream yet?
Yeah. Well, it's like a '69 Super Sport Camaro black, and he's like, he's waiting for him to and I'm like, you're gonna wait until he's dead.
Damn it, SSs are so expensive, man.
Yeah, and I think he has a Rally Sport too that was supposedly my sister-in-law's, but never materialized kind of thing.
Yeah. I hate my brother because he is doing pretty well in life, and he has like a '68 Chevelle. He has a '69 Rally Sport with the hidden headlight covers.
Oh, nice.
He's got my 70.5 Camaro Z28. I'm like, come on, sell it to me, man. No, I want to do something with it. I'm like, come on, man. That was my second car. Was a 70.
So are you a split bumper Camaro guy then?
I actually owned a 72. It was a full bumper, but I always wanted the 70.5. I never could afford it because it was a Z28. Mine smoked all the way home. I paid $300. I got paid $900 for that car. Great car though. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. I will take us on tangents. I'm sorry, Hazel. I know you're rolling your eyes right now. I can see it. I can see it through the bandwidth. Hazel, why don't you tell us if there's some shows you're watching right now, maybe?
Pretty much. We just actually started a new show with Top Chef ending. So,
that's right.
We started that show on HBO, actually, called Perry Mason.
I was just going to mention that was my show. What do you think of it?
I like it. There was one line in it that bought an extra episode from me, because I was kind of on the fence about it. And
I
then
was too.
There was one line that they said, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be that kind of show.
What was the line?
It was where they said, he's like, well, why don't you go to the police?
Oh, okay,
about what happened, and the guy looks at him and goes, well, he's like, I don't believe the police can do what we want done. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, all right, I like vigilantes. This is fun.
I saw the first episode as well, and it's very dark, dude. It's very dark.
Fuck, it's pitch black.
It's like I'm looking at my wife. My wife are looking at each other. I'm like, we gonna pursue this show? Or she goes, I guess.
I read some reviews about it first, and I was like, okay, well, I know that this one thing happens, thing that happened, and I was like, hey, are you really sure about this? I've heard shit gets bad. And I looked over at her, and she was just looking away for a while, and then she'd look back, and she'd be like, all right, I'm good.
See, my wife likes crime dramas, so it fits her. But for me, I don't know, I'll go along for the ride, I guess.
Yeah. But, besides that, the only other thing that I'm kind of clearing everything out so I can watch. So I quit watching Hannibal just because I've already seen it. Right. But I'm getting ready for Dark. The final season is out tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, so nice. I'm like, I can't wait to see what the hell this show takes me. So.
That's a lot of dogs, man.
It's two, but they're just right above me.
Oh, I got you. Well, other than like what Hazel mentioned, Perry Mason, that was my show I was going to mention. AMC Theaters, our local theater, we're opening up. I'm fingers crossed, July 15th. And honestly, I cannot wait to report in on some new movies I'll be watching. And Tenet is going to be definitely one of my first ones.
Push that out, by the way.
Did they delay it?
They've seemed to have delayed everything. That's why I keep going on, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, yeah, we've decided to move this movie back. It's like, man, I just missed. We had a local theater here, and they were opening up and just showing classic movies. We're going to show Indiana Jones. And I almost went you know what, babe? I know we own this, but I want to go to the theater.
I do too, man. So
I just want to go sit in the theater.
Yeah.
I used to go like that whole when I was working 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
My apartment was literally like across the street was a movie theater.
Oh, nice.
And they do $5 Tuesdays.
Yep.
Any movie, $5. And I would go there. Like, that'd be one of those, oh, it's they open up at 10 o'clock. This is an hour and a half movie. I don't got to be work till noon. Yeah, we'll just go see that movie. But, I love movies. I used to go a lot. And I just feel the last few years like there hasn't been as much coming out that I'm like, yeah, I want to go see that. It's been kind of a dry spell, but there are movies I'm looking forward to.
There's a lot, and so
I heard nothing I can go see right now.
I heard Tenet was late July, so it's further out now, huh?
They pushed it out, and then Wonder Woman is out now too to October.
Oh, come on, guys! Damn,
I'm thinking like everything is like the starting August is right the soft when they're going to do it, and I'm like, yeah, the rate it's going, it's going to be like all right, good. This year we're just going to call a mulligan. We're not going to have the Oscars because there was nothing that came out that anybody could see. So
Well, then,
but dude, are you paying attention to what's going on in the news, man?
I know it's
For
crazy.
Sake, your state shut down again.
It's crazy.
Not completely, but
no,
they shut down bars.
Well, in Orange County, which is Orlando area, we are required to wear a mask in public. So,
Texas shut down their bars too, and it's like, dude, man.
I think everybody's a little antsy.
It sucks that movies are. Dude, what?
Well, yeah, I understand, but it's still, it's just, it's we've been in this long enough that I'm kind of wanting to get back to some semblance of normal life to a point where it's like going to a movie. I know it's a 2-hour thing, but it would just be nice to go and do something that feels normal. Normal,
exactly.
Yeah. The problem is that other people can't be trusted to do the same.
Trust me, I know. I go into stores and
don't get me started.
Sometimes I look like I'm just going to rob the place and I'm the only dude. And sometimes I look like, I'm part of the crowd. And
exactly.
Like, how is it I went to this store and, 20% of people are wearing masks, and then I go to this store and 20% of people aren't wearing a mask?
I want to ask him. Right. I want to come up to him. I want to come up to him and say, why aren't you wearing a mask?
Well, it's just like people who wear the mask and then wear it just under their nose and just covering their mouth.
Yeah.
I kind of want to just walk up and just go, "You're stupid."
I'm not going to even go down that wormhole because I'll get irate. I'll get irate. You know what? I used to be super super cautious, and I just had my biannual blood test. I have to have my blood tested twice a year. My doctor makes me do it for cholesterol.
Twice a year.
Yeah. Well, it's, I'm over 50 now, so they're always looking, and my triglycerides bumped up a little, so I got to start eating better now. But no, I said, you know what?
Or you're going to get stuck like me. There's nothing like you're going and you're like a diehard meat man, and they go, yeah, what's going to be best for you? A vegan diet.
Yeah. You went vegan, didn't you, for a while? Did you go back, or are you still vegan?
I'm not vegan. So I count it like this. There's vegan and there's plant-based.
Right.
I go vegan is that whole mindset you can't kill animals.
With an eye.
Gotta save the wearing leather and blah, 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 blah. And I don't give a damn.
Right.
I still think meat's delicious. I'm on a plant-based diet mainly. So, my proteins are like beans and stuff. Yeah. I still eat meat on occasion, like maybe once a month, like for my 15-year anniversary, which we just had.
Right.
We went out for sushi.
Right.
I ate sushi. I had fish. It was great. It was delicious, and I enjoy it.
Yes.
And that's actually how my doctor said. He's like, look, be plant-based 90+% of the time.
Exactly.
Eat like that. But if you want to have a steak one day, have a steak and don't feel horrible about it.
Right.
Just don't make it a everyday thing, and you're fine. And I do. So I save it for like special occasions like my birthday or like I said, my anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because, look, I want to go out and I want to eat, and I don't want to be like, all right, what do they have that I can eat? I just want to go out and freaking whatever I want.
Right.
And what's funny is at this point, even if they told me I could have meat, I would have more than I have now, but it's not like I would just be like, all right, I'm baking on everything. And
Right.
I honestly feel better, but I'm never going to be like, you should do this. It's the best thing.
No.
Look, for me, it's great. I also ate like crap for years. So like I used to be a driving salesman, and I ate at a gas stations and fast food.
Oh boy,
that was like everything but dinner was fast food,
right?
Or from a gas station,
right?
Well, I am sure that had something to do with a lot of stuff because that was 5 years of that.
It's just so much processed food. That's the problem. Your gut just is trying to figure out what to do with it.
Right. And now, like I said, I eat a lot of beans and rice. Like that's the joke.
Yeah. It's really, it's good
truth.
though. It tastes so good though. A black bean taco with some rice and a little bit of cheese mixed in there. I know you don't touch the cheese. I'm a little different. My wife is vegetarian. And
I'm actually lactose intolerant. I've been lactose intolerant for years. So
you don't have the
I haven't had that's why I'm a vegetarian. I call it I'm a vegetarian.
Right.
Because, I go to Taco Bell and I know how to eat out of Taco Bell too, which is actually one of my favorite fast food places now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because you can substitute either potatoes or black beans for most of their meat.
Ooh.
And they've screwed up and I've had the meat and it's just like,
screw it.
How the hell did I even eat this?
It's going. I'm already eating it. Let's finish it.
No, it wasn't. Like,
really?
It was like, this wasn't good. Like, it was.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not used to it. And it's like, now I'm at that point where if I'm going to eat meat, it's going to be good meat. Like if I'm going to eat like a steak,
quality,
that's going to be a badass steak.
Yeah.
Usually I eat lamb if I'm going to eat meat because I love lamb and it's expensive as hell, but that's, good because I don't eat it very often. And or sushi, it's high quality stuff. I'm not buying, gas station sushi. I'm buying like from a local place here that does it and it's pretty good.
Well, when my wife, we eat at home 5 of the 7 days a week, 2 days a week, front of the week and back of the week, we go out for something. We either get takeout at a local, like chicken finger place. My wife gets a salad and some homemade potato chips or something, and I'll have the chicken fingers. Or like, say, the hamburger place I always go to. Anyway, if we go to a really upscale hamburger place, I'll have a hamburger, and she'll have the vegetarian or the whatever those other patties are made out of. But
well, see, I like Beyond better than Impossible. I'm going to say it, and so does my wife, and we love that. And honestly, it's not like we're not those people like you can't even tell the difference. I say it just tastes really good. My friend has tried it. My dad has tried. My dad tried it when I was out last to California,
right?
And he's like, "That's actually," and my brother did too. Like well, we'll try it, and they're like, "No, this is really good. I could see doing this instead, and it wouldn't be super hard." And that's actually what we did. We found when we made that transition, there's a brand called Gardein.
Yep, my
and
wife loves it.
And it tastes really good, and it helps you make that transition. And as we've just noticed, because I've been doing this for almost a year and a half now, that we don't use it as much, but every now and then it's just like, I need that, and that's what we do.
Have you tried the Gardein crab cakes?
I haven't.
Oh, dude, that's the one. When I'm making dinner, you put the crab cakes in there. They're like little. They're like the size of like a scallop, and they taste really good. God,
that's the thing. Some of that vegan food, it tastes really good. Yeah. Like we have a local pizza place here. Mm-hmm. It's very hippie. Like you walk in and it's just like, you could not pass a drug test. I can tell you that for sure.
Exactly.
But damn, do they make pizza? And they actually have a whole vegan section, and they make one with, and it's just their pizzas taste really good. And like everybody I have try it, I'm like, look, it doesn't taste. You're not gonna be like, oh, I couldn't tell. You can tell. It's like that's not quite right, but it's like that tastes good. And they're like, yeah, I'll admit that tastes better than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah, I like food. I mean, obviously, I was like 350 pounds at one point. I like food.
Yes, I like to eat too. Well, poor Hazel. Good luck tonight keeping us on track, Hazel.
No,
we're two peas in a pod here. Okay, well, thank you, BBQ, for sharing everything with us, man. We appreciate it. I think it's time for speed run, right, Hazel?
I believe so.
All right,
I think somebody's anxious for this.
I've heard someone is ready to play, so let's do that right after this.
Call the Praxic Order, call the Thanatonauts, the Ginseng Scribes, call everyone so they can witness you.
Okay, so this segment is called the Speed Run. This is where we have a database of over 125 randomly asked questions, and BBQ here is going to have 60 seconds to answer as many as he can. These are short 1 or 2 word answers, and we're going to keep track of how many questions are answered by each of our guests each week. And at the end of the year, the guest with the most answered will win a cool prize. Sin and Kingsley Mack are those doggone guys are still the leaders at 26. Barbecue, you gonna defeat these guys tonight?
Hell yeah.
All right. Let's do it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ikora, Cade, or Zavala?
Ikora.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
DC or Marvel?
DC.
Is Drifter evil, yes or no?
Yes.
Void, Solar, or Arc?
Void.
What was your first video game?
Pong.
What is your lucky number?
12.
What is your favorite breakfast cereal?
Tricks.
Tupac or Biggie?
Tupac.
Who is your favorite actor?
Robin Williams.
Electric or acoustic guitar?
Electric.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
What would be your superpower?
Super strength.
Cars or trucks?
Trucks.
Pineapple on pizza?
Hell yeah.
Playing cards or board games?
Playing cards.
Sunset or sunrise?
Sunset.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
What is your favorite Destiny planet?
Earth.
Smooth or chunky peanut butter?
Chunky.
Is racing a sport?
Yes.
What's better, the book or the movie?
Depends.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
What is your spirit animal?
Wolf.
Vader or Yoda?
Fine.
Yoda.
Oh, so close. I think I think the favorite actor threw you just a half or so second.
Yeah.
I think that was a
'Cause
difference.
that's a tough one because
There were a lot of favorites this week. A lot of favorite this, favorite that. I was like, oh my God, there's so many favorites. Ah, damn. Hazel, you know the answer. Where's he at?
25.
I know.
He was moving too. He could have, I mean, if he wouldn't have been like just a hair faster on some
I'm
of those.
telling you, Sin and Kingsley, they got together and said, all right, here's how we're going to do it. I mean, they just got it down, man. And so I think Sin actually said, you just got to close your eyes and just hear the question before it's ending, I guess. I don't know.
like I said, the favorite actor, that's a tough one because it's like, man,
Yeah.
there are a lot of actors that are just.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. But damn, that was impressive, man. I got to admit.
Nicely done, man.
Damn
That's
impressive.
close.
Very nice, dude. Very nice. Just want to remind everybody that we have decided to keep a channel in our Discord, Speedrun Question Ideas. So if you have a great speedrun question, add it there. And I did want to announce that because of, our appreciation for everybody watching the show and participating in our Discord. At the end of the year, we're going to give away a $25 gift card. And this is all coming from a drawing from that channel. So if you have up to five ideas for a speedrun question, we'll take your top 5. You can add as many as you like, but me and Hazel will decide which 5 to take, and we will put it all in the drawing, and one person will win a $25 gift card. So good luck, guys. All right. I think we've covered everything, and I think it is time to know what's going on with This Week at Bungie. All right, Hazel, This Week at Bungie. What's going on?
All right, hold on. Let me stop my game in Warzone.
Oh,
All right.
son of a bitch.
So,
Tell H you'll be there back in a minute.
he's not on yet. I already checked.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Not really though. All right. So, this week at Bungie, first and foremost, they did call out basically the bad behavior that's been going on lately, and it's that basically that Bungie is happy to see communities coming together to sort of trim the fat in a way from the people that have been that shouldn't be doing the shit that's going on. So, and then
I was going to say, do you just want to get into it, or do you want to save that to later?
Yeah, we can fucking get into it. But real quick though,
okay.
Before we do that though, I just want to say that they did reaffirm their commitment to enforce the standards of the Code of Conduct, and to a degree, they're even passing that on to each of the little sub communities of.
Really? Okay.
of everything too. So that was pretty interesting to see. I'm waiting to see how that whole thing shakes out. I mean, I guess it kind of is like the next step in how they're looking at banning people who are cheaters and then anyone who plays with them as well.
That's good. That's the way it should be.
So it's sort of like, hey, you know, they're going to look at this clan and then they're going to see if that clan shouldn't even exist.
Okay, so for those of you out there who are going, what the hell is Hazel talking about? Most of us know, actually, this happened the very Friday night last.
Yeah.
We were recording, and Hazel was saying about something about news, and something was very disturbing. And it seems some very high-profile Destiny content creators and streamers got exposed for some, let's just say, creepy, bad things toward women gamers. And some,
Well, that was Friday night.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
calling a spade. I mean, Friday night it was Lono. Saturday was Luminosity and Bomb Squad Kittens. And then Sunday was Orange Justice. And I mean,
basically it started with one account and then it was kind of like, well, I'm just going to say this. It was this. And it, like that one person did that. And it wasn't just like, other people. Oh yeah. It was all of a sudden just like, account after account after account after account after account, and like female streamers fell out of the woodwork with stories.
Yeah,
and
did.
You know,
I mean,
you got to see how some of these big streamers are, because like I think it may have been Lumi or it was a different guy who the person put it out, and 10 minutes later they had a full like 2-page response written to it. Like they knew it was coming, and it's like. You're that much of a scum that you know someone's about to talk to you at some point, so you got it pre-written up.
Right. Well, yeah, I agree. And I'm just going to say this, and you guys aren't going to like what I'm going to say here, but Say No to Rage was a very inspirational guy for me. He was a positive light in the Destiny community. He was. He kept the conversation going every morning. Every morning I would tune in. I loved his topics that he said. I loved the way he talked about things. It's just fucking sad. It's just fucking sad. This whole thing.
Agree.
Nobody
his whole
wins.
life got destroyed. Now, it was over his own things. Now, I don't have a real big opinion on Say No to Rage. I watched him a few times, but he just didn't do it. For me, he wasn't my guy. And so, but I had no ill will toward. I could care less about him one way or the other. It was like, he's doing his thing. He's doing okay. Cool. Then I saw this and I'm just like, damn.
Yeah. And if you guys want to find out more about this, just Google anything to this effect.
Go to Mind of Snaps.
Go to Twitter.
Yeah, I read her whole blog. I read her whole blog that she put out, and it was very disturbing. And it it's just, he says that he's been working on it for a while, but I don't know where to stand on this. But all I do know is that these women had to be very brave to come out and say this. I mean, my daughter is 21 years old now, and I can't even imagine if she was going through something like this. So pushing all that aside, of all the great things he did, it's just totally eliminated now because of his conduct. And
look, this happened. Like I remember with Jesse James, the West Coast Customs, and like he was married to Sandra Bullock, and then it came out that he was sleeping with that other chick. And I told my wife, I'm like, look, don't get mad at me, but I think Sandra Bullock is like probably one of the most beautiful women in the world. Mm-hmm. And he was married to that, and he went and cheated on her with this other chick. And through like, since then, like, have you really heard of him from anything? No, he fell out because, one of America's sweethearts got cheated on by him. And it's just kind of like, well, there goes your whole career. Cause dude, like you can't be a scumbag. Like Tiger Woods has never been the same since his cheating scandal came out. It's one of those things.
And don't get me,
he had his truck flip over on him.
Yeah.
So
don't get me wrong. I'm not defending any of these guys. They're grown men. I mean, what they did was wrong. It was very wrong. And there's just several major streamers that produce content in Destiny, and this is going on in the gaming community, guys. There's other people that have been exposed as well. You just go to YouTube; it's just everywhere. And you know what? That night when you showed me that, Hazel,
Yeah.
I felt like I got punched in the face. I was dizzy. I didn't even know which window was up for a while. I was totally just didn't expect this at all. And
Yeah,
Yes.
see, that's the thing for me is where I never really paid attention to Say No to Rage, so I didn't know much about him or anything like that.
Mhm.
But me, it became less of an issue. I mean, about what he did. I mean, granted, it was all wrong and everything, but I mean, it was just that the whole community basically knew.
Right.
Yeah, it's the finding out of all the people who kind of knew and didn't really speak up. And the thing for me was just what this sparked. Like,
Yeah.
it kind of let everybody all of them were just like, well, yeah, this has happened to me. Oh, yeah, well, this has happened to me. Yeah, this happened to me. And then it's like, holy hell.
Yeah. It's a long time coming. I mean, it was time to clean house. It's I don't know, man. It's just I'm just dumbfounded how all this happened and how it happened back in 2018 and earlier, and nobody knew. I mean, people knew about it, but it was the women's decision to come out. And
But it becomes less an issue about waiting for them to come out and then protecting the women that are
I agree.
don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
and
because I've followed a couple. I've used to follow a couple streamers, and I unfollowed them because of basically their inaction about this.
well, I'm not in the situation. I don't know all the information, so I can't make a judgment on that. But
Yeah, but I can choose who I follow.
absolutely.
and who I
Yes,
unfollow.
and
Absolutely.
that's the beauty of the system is, if you decided, hey, they knew and they covered for them, you don't have to anything them on Twitch, and this is going to affect a lot of people.
it is. It's going to ripple outward. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, it already is. I mean, it's not just. I mean, it's gone out now past Destiny.
Yeah.
And now it's gone out into other games.
Yeah,
and
I've
everything
seen
else.
someone from the COD community who was like, yeah, and this streamer, and it's just like you see stuff and it's like, damn.
Yeah. It's news
Basically,
every.
if my daughter wanted to become a professional gamer, I'm out buy her a chastity belt and
Right.
a baseball bat and go like, this is your now equipment.
Right. Well, the other side of the story that hit us, once the left cross came across, then all of a sudden I got uppercut with this news. There has been a couple clans that have been, let's say, grabbing IP addresses, and they have a private Discord channel, and we're DDoSing people. And I'm not don't say who, because I don't want to mention who, because if you want more information, listeners, go find it. It's out there. It's easy to find. I will say this blog that this person put out exposing everybody, by the way, has been taken down. And you know what it said under it? This account is under investigation, or this blog is under investigation. So I'm wondering if the federal government stepped in here and is looking into this, because it's a federal crime.
It's a federal
crime. So back when internet was new, and that was one of the things I'll steal their IP. And
Right.
it came out if your ISP caught you doing that,
Right.
they will drop you because it's such a big chart. And, DDoSing and all that, that is a serious crime.
Yeah.
It's also a pain in the butt to deal with. I know I deal with it at work.
Right. It's like DDoSing's no big deal now. It's like something that just happens in games. It's not okay. I've been DDoSed before. It took me, I got slugged with a DDoS. I mean, my internet in my whole house was down for an hour. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get my router to recover. Now, of course, I've put stuff in place that maybe will help it a little bit better, but I don't, one of the examples was Gathalion's raid, where someone jumped in, grabbed IP addresses, and started kicking people off.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's a bunch of shit.
See, here's the thing, though, is that I want to know what Bungie's going to do about it now.
Well, I mean, what
part of it is they there's not a lot they can do. Because
that's what I was going to say.
It's not Bungie per se, because they can't mask your IP and because it's just the way the internet works. But if I were to become a big time streamer, am I going to get a VPN? Oh, you bet your ass I'm going to, because it's just you need that extra layer of protection.
And you're in the business, so I mean, this, how easy it is.
I know a lot of things, and just I can get commercial grade firewalls for my house, you know, to test at home kind of things and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I'm not going to lie. I'm in the business and I have excellent internet here because like I have fiber at my house.
Right.
So I have 500 up and down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I can pay for a gig. It's like $30 more.
So VPN's not going to slow you down too much.
I currently, because I'm working at home, I'm on VPN on my work laptop doing work stuff all day, and I have my personal computer, which is right next to it.
You have a
playing
personal
Twitch videos. Like I'm watching Twitch and stuff during the day while I'm working, and sometimes, you know, I'll play games all at the same time because I have just a giant pipe into my house.
Sure.
But you know, I can do that.
Right.
And we bought that so, you know, I can stream while my wife is streaming Netflix and my daughter's on the tablet doing stuff, and we don't feel anything. Why?
Right.
Because I know what I'm doing, and I have a very nice router for taking care of everything. And because this is how it works at my house. My wife goes, "Can my phone get on the internet?" Yes. Okay, then I don't care.
Yeah, that's all my wife cares about. Why is the internet down? Well, I had to reset the router. Chill.
Yeah, she knows, like, she's gotten to the point now where she has the app on her phone, so she can add the guest network, take away the guest network.
Right.
She can turn off the internet to whatever device because I've labeled them all in there.
That is so awesome. You can turn your kid's internet off on a switch. I love it.
Yeah, because I have a Nighthawk, and it has like a Wi-Fi app that's literally... And what's cool is it actually has a built-in VPN function, so I can actually do the VPN without going out and buying one.
Right. Yeah. Welcome to Tech Talk, fellas.
No, you want to get deep?
No.
Like
Hazel.
I said, I know what I do, but I do high-end networking stuff, so like I really, really, really know.
That's awesome, man.
And I deal with application, so like I'm one of those guys that, you know, like you can't figure out what the problem is. Call my team. Why? Because we have knowledge in all kinds of things, and we might be able to figure it out.
Right. Well, sorry, Hazel, we derailed again.
No, I mean, this is fun.
I think I found the title of our tonight's show. Okay.
Derailed again.
I don't know. It's just to recap. Astacross still has a video, by the way. As far as I can tell, he still has it. It hasn't been taken down about all this IP grabbing and stuff. He has the video. So just look up under I think it was WTF was a big thing over his video or something.
Well, you'll see
some emblems.
Say no to rage symbol, and then also the Bomb Squad kittens.
Right. It's all in there. So if you want to see it, it's news, it's fact. You know, it's out there. So if you want to look further into it, we're not going to gossip about it anymore. We're just reporting it. Every podcast I've listened to has spoken about this, and we're trying to be as vague as possible here, but it just had to be said. I mean, it was like the elephant in the room. We had to say something about it, especially when Destiny's speaking out about it. So
yeah, well, this is definitely on par with 2020. I mean, it's getting to the point where if they said dinosaurs came back to life because they came out of a cave, I'm going to be like, well, damn.
Yep.
This year has definitely been.
Oh my God, it's been a test.
Like, and that's the thing. This came out, and it's like, of course, this would come out in 2020.
After the incidents in the nation, and just so much is going on.
After everything, it's like, yep, and it's just like you know, I'm still sad.
Dust cloud too.
I'm really sad because that whole Murder Hornets thing feels like just a filler episode in an anime.
I know.
It's like, we're going to have Murder Hornets. And I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, now back to our normally Crapstorm episode of 2020. Right. It's the new arc. Black Lives Matter. Oh, damn.
I know.
Can we go back to Murder Hornets?
I know.
Those sound cool.
Just killed some of those today, by the way. They were chasing a guy. Guy was mowing, and as soon as his mower got near it, it was a bad nest, man. Bad one. Anyway, back to our topic here, because I know Hazel has more things to say about the TWAB. You know, overall, women are speaking out about their incidents. You know, the first one I read was from Snaps. And I went back and read a lot of other blogs from female gamers and streamers telling their stories and what's going on. And you know what? I got a question to pose to you guys. Why are women gamers not represented as much as male gamers are? I realize there's a lot of male gamers in this industry. Why are female gamers not as represented as well? Is there any reason why? Is there something we're doing as male gamers? I'm trying to understand this.
I honestly think part of it is just, when you think gaming, you think guy. And it's just a subconscious thing. Now, that being said, if you look at my Twitch, I'm about a 2/3, 1/3 split on, streamers content. Like 2/3 are male and then 1/3 is female.
Right.
And some of the ones I watch more regularly are female. And it's not because, they're the hottest thing ever. Like, no. They're just entertaining to listen to, like Snaps. I like her content. Why? Because she's, she reminds me of that hippie girl from high school.
Yeah,
that was just totally cool to hang out with.
Exactly. She just hung out with anybody. She would just go with the flow.
Yeah, and I had a friend like that, and it was cool. And then, Liz, she's 55.
Yeah.
I loved I watched her when Borderlands 3 came out, and I watched her for a long time. Why? Because, she was entertaining, and she just talked to you about everything, and she's very real. She's a real person. She's not like a cam girl at one bit that, it's just like, I can't stand those people. And there's a lot of those that I watch, and it's because, they're entertaining, and it's not because they're hot or I'm another. Like there's a guy suing Twitch for $25 million because apparently he's a sex addict and he sees this. But it's like, dude, you follow 750 people on Twitch and they're all girls.
Oh, that's a problem.
You don't have a case here.
That's a problem.
You're just a dumbass.
You know what? I'd be curious if I to ask one of these streamers is to say, how many times a day when you're streaming does someone come in chat and go, "Show me your boobs"?
That was the thing. 55 actually got it. Like she got called a titty streamer when she was wearing a like neck tight shirt, and she's like, I figured, and like she had a post. Now this was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, like long time ago. Right. She's like, I figured out how to do it, and she took a shirt and wrapped it around her face on top, so the only part of her body you could see was her two eyes sticking out of that. And she's like,
"Oh, are you kidding?
Maybe I won't be called a titty streamer anymore."
It makes a point. It makes a point.
And I mean, it was because and that's the whole thing. It's like, oh, it's easier for girls to get followers and this and that. But then it's like, yeah, but then they have to deal with dickheads all day going like, hey, you want to go out with me? You want a dick pic? You want like,
imagine you're starting as a streamer and you're immediately already labeled a certain type of streamer. That'd be a terrible thing to live with. I don't know how they do it. It's very brave. Very brave.
Right. And I mean, there's a lot, like I said, I have a good split, and like I watch them, and a lot of them are just entertaining people.
Right.
They're not the biggest people. And I think that's just because even if you listen to Lupo, he's like, part of it is luck. It is straight up luck. You become huge.
It's like everything in life, whether you're an athlete or a music star or whatever. It's getting that break. You have to be in the right place at the right time, and you get lucky.
Like that was Lupo. We've been talking to him since before he got huge.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's still weird that, it's like, I can text Lupo and, talk to, and like, it's like, that is just weird. I've had like one-on-one conversations with him, and, that just at this point seems ridiculous.
Right.
That, especially like his wife was on our show for a long time. It's like,
me and Hazel were just talking about that the other day.
And it's like, at this point you look at it, and it's like, they are so much more like celebrity than I will ever be.
I'm very happy for him. Lupo's a great guy.
He is a fantastic guy, and he does a lot of good with what he has.
He does.
But it's that whole thing. It's like, that's he's even admitted, like, his meeting Ninja and them starting to play helped him grow, because Ninja is popular for some reason, and I don't get him.
Yeah.
I don't understand Ninja and what his appeal is, but then again, I'm also old as hell.
I was going to say,
a 12-year-old playing,
he's,
Fortnite.
You're not in his demographic marketing target.
I am not, which was actually part of his whole roast that they did.
That's right. Right.
And that was the joke. It's like, none of your fans could actually come in because, it's an over 18 event. And
that's right. Yeah.
It was great, but it's that whole thing. I'm not personally a fan of his, but then again, I'm not against, like, I just think it's like I said with Sony Rose. So say no to rage. I know him, but I don't. I know more about Ninja just because it's Ninja and he's everywhere.
Right.
But it's he's not really my cup of tea. Now the buddy, Tim the Tap Man, dude. Me and him, I could see being buddies in real life.
He's a dude, bro. I get it.
Yeah, I've been watching him lately too.
I actually reached out and tried to get him on our podcast, but I could never actually get in contact with him. Because he doesn't have the direct communicate. But I tried a few times to see if like I could actually,
right.
Because I think he would have been awesome. Like if I could have interviewed him, like it would have been, like Chris Farley from back SNL. So,
oh yeah,
you're awesome. I mean, all right. I would have lost it because right. I think he's just awesome. It's like Lupo. It's like, dude, awesome. Lupo's only different just because, like we've known him for so long. If we were to get him on now, I think it would have been weird.
Right.
Because it'd have been like, dude, you're Lupo. But it's not, like that. It's, hey Lupo, what's up? Because we know it's been years.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to pose the question, what can we do as male gamers? And I think Hazel, at the beginning of our intro to this show, I think he summed it up just fine. So I'm going to leave that there.
Well, I mean, something that Lupo said, and he's like, I didn't know it, but it was, with the Black Lives Matter thing, but the same thing is like, I've never really, he didn't go out of his way to avoid it, but he's like, I just hosted people and I've never tried, to variety. And I'm like, yeah, it's, right. He didn't do like the ninja thing. Like, I don't play with girl streamers, so I don't get accused of whatever. Right. I think that's ridiculous. But it's just, I think for us as gamers, I know we're not doing it intentionally, but if you know people like that, if you know a girl gamer, invite them to play with you like you would anybody else.
Right.
Just be, treat them like you would anybody else. Like, treat everyone equally.
Right.
That's all it takes.
Thought, right?
I mean,
imagine that.
Who the fuck ever thought that you'd have to say that?
It's a good thing you said that because when this all popped up, me and Hazel had a little tete-a-tete, and we had a discussion about this. And over 50 episodes, how many female guests have we had? One. So Hazel and I are changing that. This is not talk. We're not all about talk. In the month of July alone, and in the foreseeable future, we're going to have more female gamers and streamers, more people of different nationalities. We're going to have people from all over the gaming community, and we want to try to represent everybody. So starting next month in July, we're going to prove to you that we're going to do that very thing. So especially in Destiny, because there's so many different types of people that love to play Destiny, and this is a Destiny podcast. So we hope you guys will tune in the future to hear their stories. So I just want to mention that because I almost get emotional when I talk about this because I cannot believe in 50 episodes we have had one female guest on our show. And not taking anything away from you, BBQ. I love you, man. I really do. But,
I understand. It's, but it's one of those I think that's one of the best things to come out of everything is you're not doing it on purpose. It may be a subconscious thing. But you're like going, how can I be better? And honestly, that's what the world needs. Like,
it's aware. It's aware. Just being aware of it.
So there was advice I was given years ago. And it's like, if you're trying to be better, just try and be better. I know that sounds hard, but think about it like this. Even if you're just 1% better every day,
right,
you're 100% better than you were 100 days from now.
Great way to look at it.
And it's like, and that's the real thing. Do simple, small changes today.
Baby steps.
And they can have huge impact later in life.
Right.
Exactly.
Hazel, do you have anything you want to add here? I know we drowned you out.
No, just that, kind of a spoiler alert, I guess, is that one of the people that we're going to have on is Red Queen.
Yes.
So I'm
excited.
I've followed her for, I don't know when I exactly followed her. She's just always been in my Twitch. So what I did was I was like, okay, well, let me actually watch her. And she actually starts streaming at about 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock in the morning. So when I'm getting ready for work, I'm like going ahead and I'm putting her on. I'm watching her in the morning. And she does something that I find absolutely cool. And what she does is she says hi to each and every person.
Really?
That basically is in her chat.
Well, I'm not up at 8:30, so I'm sorry. I missed that part.
It's because you went to bed at like 4 because you were
okay.
Destiny doing bounties.
We don't need to go there, Hazel.
But I mean, but how many other streamers do you know that do that?
I love it. And I popped in her stream as well and said hi. I mean, I pop in and I'm usually a lurker. I don't really say much. And I popped in the other day and said hi to her. She was doing a Scourge of the Pass raid. And I went, oof, Scourge. That's a tough raid. Because it's like herding cats, that first part of that where you're in the city. It's it's like herding cats. And she's a Sherpa. There's a lot of people that she was they were in her lobby and playing the raid that were new at it. And I have such respect for anybody that Sherpas a raid, because raid is such a teamwork event, and Destiny's purposely made it that way. So for someone to go in there and have the patience, I'm an old guy. I ain't got the patience. I'm sorry. I'll give you a few shots and I'll expect it of people with me too. If I don't get it by the third or fourth time, then I need to be yelled at or something. But she is just so sweet. No, you can't get that in writing. Hey, I did it. Now wait a minute. Now I did do a prophecy raid with Kingsley Mac and Poop Shizzle, and they dragged my ass all the way through that. I was like a little kid. They were holding my hand. I was like, "Come on, where do we go now?" But I know the feeling. So God bless all you Sherpas out there that help people. There's so many out there that are maybe not the huge streamers, but Artful is one streamer I've been watching for a long time. Shout out to Artful. And if you see him on Twitch, this guy is a school teacher. He teaches school. He's an art teacher. And as soon as he teaches kids all day, he jumps on Twitch and he'll help kids and adults run raids and teaches them how to do the raids. And he's so very good at what he does. He's very organized. He keeps his cool. I've subbed to him for a long time, and I just want to mention that Sherpas just don't get their due. They really don't. And like me and Hazel said, we're putting our money where our mouth is. This isn't talk. We are literally in the month of July. I can tell you right now, we have 2 female streamers coming on for that month. So we're really excited. I think it's gonna be very refreshing. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm definitely looking forward to it too.
So I think we've, sorry. Oh, what else is going on in the TWAB, Hazel?
Well,
good luck with that.
Yeah. So, there is a TWAB. So, all right.
You know, there's this game called Destiny.
Yeah. So, a couple things here. Okay. Bungie is doing their Be Heard for Juneteenth, right, which is the Black Lives Matter pin. I bought mine, and I will have my emblem. I'm still waiting on that. Then also Twitch Prime. They are doing that again. So the Cerebral Explosion and Burnout, Sparrow, all that good stuff is going on. But in other news, Iron Banner is coming back next week.
Yes.
So it is not going to be skill-based matchmaking. So you get to bend over and take it. And aside from that, they're bringing back 2 reprised weapons and curating weapon reward pools down to 8. So the 2 that are coming back is the 600 Forward Path. It's a kinetic auto rifle. And then there's the Fool's Remedy, which is a sidearm.
Right, Suros.
Forward Path, I still have my old one because I masterworked it because I loved it. It was just a slaughtering machine.
Or you can pull it out of collections.
No, I masterworked mine.
Oh,
so I'm
okay.
Yeah,
it's good. I liked it. It's a good rifle.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this one. So, and then they're also putting in before I get to the one part here, they're putting in 2 new perks. Iron Grip, which improves stability at the cost of reload speed.
Okay.
And then Iron Gaze, which improves target acquisition at the cost of range.
Okay, it's not Third Eye. I was wrong.
Wah, wah, wah.
I was really hoping it was going to be Third Eye.
Yeah. But I'm liking what they're doing, though. I like how they're trying this new perk method of, hey, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give you this, but we're going to try to take something away to balance it.
Right.
I like that idea versus just like, hey, it makes this better. I
Instead
like
of third eye. Yeah.
I like things that kind of are like reward, risk reward. Like, okay, we'll give you this, but it's going to cost you that. Like, I like that, and it changes up gameplay better because some guns work better with the way you shoot versus me. And I mean, so we can have the exact same gun, but like I'll have it with these perks versus you have it with those perks because they work with how you play versus how I play.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
my god roll is different than your god roll.
Yeah. But Bungie, please bring back the artifact of Galeon so I can have my third eye back, please.
Moving on. So,
we'll just stand aside from that one.
yeah. Anyway. All right. So I'm anxiously looking forward to your thoughts on this. So, with the forward path and Fool's Remedy being reprised weapons, the following weapons will be considered reissued and will have Season of Arrival max infusion caps.
Okay.
Shining Sphere, Swarm of the Raven, Talons of the Eagle, Bite of the Fox, Orwing's Maul, and Criminal's Dagger. So that's basically a rocket launcher, grenade launcher, pulse, sniper, grenade launcher again.
Yeah.
The one shot, and
breach
then the hand
loader.
cannon.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a 110 hand cannon, yeah.
Yeah, I actually I have one that I really like.
Yeah, but guess what? That one that you like, after
Not
this
so
season, it's useless.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Do you like that roll?
Yes.
Have on it? Yeah. Guess what you get to do?
Farm for it again.
Farm for it again, because that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You did. Here's a
You get to be Farmer John.
Farmer Todd.
I fucking despise this thought.
I do not like this idea at all. I don't. Yeah.
This breaks my heart. I'm like, this is not at all what I was hoping for. But yeah.
I have all these weapons. Swarm of the Raven, I've got one with the spike grenade that instant kills people, and now I got to get another one.
Yeah, see, I mean, I understand the point of it, but at the same time, I think part of the problem is you've also had a small loot pool for so many years, and now it's like, hey, we're going to just cut out half that loot pool because, people just keep using that same stuff over. Well, that's because
you haven't added to
you haven't given us much other options.
You know what? It's funny. I went all the way back to episode 1, and I said, you know what? I just can't get enthused Can't get enthused to play Iron Banner, and that was back in last July, guys, because they just didn't offer anything. The gear was lackluster, and it was gear we've already had before. There was nothing new to get.
That didn't change in the fucking year we've been doing this
That's
podcast.
my point. I'd loved trying to get Perun's Run in Destiny 1. I wanted that fusion rifle because it was very fast firing and it had good range. It would melt people in Crucible. But it's every Iron Banner there would be something new in Destiny 1 to chase. There would be a whole new set of weapons.
I miss Yolder's hammer. That machine gun was awesome. And that was great because even if they rolled out similar, it seemed like, okay, here's the Iron Banner event, and it was an actual event because it wasn't every couple months. It was, here is the Iron Banner for, this 6 months, and it came out with new guns.
Remember the
it would have
rifles?
3 of the same, but then it'd have 3 or 4 new ones, and you're just like, oh damn, I gotta play to get this one gun.
Yeah,
I have to get this gun.
You would level up just to play Iron Banner. It was crazy.
Well, that's the reason why we fucking farmed.
I do think
farming.
that's the best part. From D1 was, oh, here's a new content drop. You knew vendor refresh,
right? Yeah,
and some of the guns, who knew nobody cared, but some of those new guns were just
people were killing themselves to get them.
Hung jury and
yes.
All of a sudden, it's this is the new gun. And that was the whole point of why that was so good.
Right.
Is every content drop, it didn't just introduce new guns that were just different or slightly... It was, okay, here's the new gun set, and these are all different, and these are what's good now.
Right.
And I mean, I kind of miss that. Like, just the vendor refresh. Like, what cool gear are they going to have now? I also miss just the 3 different factions. That was like 1 year of faction war, and then all of a sudden it's just like, they're just there.
Like I said, Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, I felt like it was a degrade. I didn't think it was an upgrade at all. I was so excited at the end of Destiny 1 that Destiny 2 is going to be so much better. It's going to be everything Destiny 1 is, but more.
Yeah.
Well, and what the hell happened?
I'm very hopeful for this new season in September. Not now, but because from what I've seen, it's like, all right, they finally decided, hey, we're going to do something.
Right. And the way you got to look at it, Baroque, is this has already been developed. This content through the end of this season has already been developed. You can't do anything about it. They've already spent the time.
I think that was the problem.
Like
they went, hey, let's try out this season pass model and we'll see if it works. And it's like they had it all planned out. And it's like, okay, it worked, sort of. Right. We really need to, offer more or change the way we do it.
I got a question. Does anybody understand what the hell this emblem's supposed to be for the new Iron Banner coming up? What the hell is that a picture of?
I don't even fucking know.
Is it a sword and a light bulb? What the hell is it?
That's kind.
I'm sorry, Bungie. I think you mailed this one in. I am not liking this emblem at all. I like the camo in the back, but what the hell is that emblem supposed to? What is that symbol on the emblem supposed to be?
I think Bungie knows.
I would hope. All right. Well, I got a question before we move on. You said that there's going to be no skill-based matchmaking in Iron Banner. It's the first time in a while. What do you guys think about skill-based matchmaking being removed from all the playlists except maybe a couple in competitive? Have you guys experienced how the new skill-based or lack of skill-based is?
Yeah, since I've played, I have definitely noticed a difference now where it's like I will go into a game and demolish people, and then the next game it is the complete reverse. And I know I've always had that, but now it's real. Like sometimes it is just a stark difference. Where before I was like, we get in a flow and go, and then all of a sudden, oh no, and then. But it just right now it just seems like it can be very hit or miss, and I like some of them, and sometimes they're normal, but it seems to be a little more erratic on what you get for teams because do I get the whole team that you can tell have been flawless because they're all wearing trials gear, and it's like, oh boy, and then I'm on the team with like a bunch of monkeys who are just running around doing, it's like, all right, go. They're like running into the wall, like we're spinning in a circle, and you're just like, oh, this is not going to go well.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this: we have a clan night every week where a bunch of us jump in and play Crucible usually. And I can tell you this, when skill-based matchmaking was in effect, a full team of 6 guys, we would win 80% of the games all night. Now jump forward to this season, we're winning 20% of the games, and we're just getting slammed. I mean, we're talking about not even close. We're talking about killers that are getting 15 KDs and 50 kills a game. I mean, it is just not even close. And I'm like, okay.
Guy had 33, I think, last a couple nights ago.
It was like, what the hell is going on here? So as I predicted, I guarantee you their Crucible numbers are dropping right now because of this. I guarantee you the people who jump on to play with their friends, like on clan nights, are saying, yeah, you know what, guys, I'm going to go play Gambit instead, or I'm going to go do some strikes. I think.
Can you imagine that as your fucking option?
I'd
rather play Gambit than fucking.
And I like the original Gambit.
Assuming you're not as honest.
Right.
I liked the original Gambit. Then Gambit Prime came out, and it was like, I swear that was like 2 weeks, and all of a sudden it's like, you know what? I'm going to play Gambit. I'm going to go play the original because this new one, it just seems so like the favor. I invaded and I killed you all, and now you're screwed. And we got 7 invaders up, and we've got primeval, and you got 2 moats.
You guys are good. I played with you, I think it was you, Boost, and I think it was you, Boost, and Stu and I played a game. Or might have been Rocker. You guys were just freaking storming the gates. I mean,
we had a while where we had like the strat down for killing stuff. Like
Yeah,
it's like, all right, we're at this level, and we could just insta melt a boss.
Right.
And it was one of those, the guys on the other side were sitting there like, yeah, we're winning. And all of a sudden, they just watched that yellow bar of of our party will just shoot. Because it was two of us doing Stormcaller, doing the Kamea wave,
right?
And we knew exactly when it was, how many perks it was,
right?
Primeval Slayer times
Numbers.
something,
Yeah.
Right.
We knew exactly how much it was to almost kill him instantly. And then if I had my tether up, like we knew how to do it. So it was, we dink around, kill stuff, get ready. All right. Oh, look, it's time 6. Go. And it just done. It didn't matter if they got it up first, because that was the thing. One of us would go over and kill people and distract them. And then, it's time, and just kill it.
Well, going back to Crucible, I and those are good times in Gambit, because I remember those strats, and I still love Gambit to this day because it seems like it's pretty even every time I play. I mean, I get across teams that if I get a group of 4 that know what the hell they're doing, then I know we're going to have a fight on our hands, and we may be in trouble. Because especially I play a lot of random. I play as single player for a lot of stuff. I will tell you this in Crucible, because I play a lot of Crucible, and I kind of experimented with this. I played by myself and just a single solo player, and I had a little bit better time. I was about a 50-50 win-loss rate. And I would get in a good lobby.
Because the skill-based, like that was the weird thing. It's like we get in groups, and some of us would struggle bust it, and some of us would do great. Right. And it's like you could tell the difference.
Right.
But it was great because it was kind of leveling us off.
Exactly. It would average both teams where they were pretty even. And sometimes it meant a really shining, like 1% player and a bunch of noobs. And I know True Vanguard would complain about that. He goes, at least if you're going to do skill-based matchmaking, throw a couple of the middle players on my side and then even it out. And I understood completely, because I've been in that spot before.
You're right.
Where you'll look at your team and go, 0.12.
I'm like 48-7, and he's like,
yeah,
he's like 7-48.
Yes.
But no, I understood his thing, because I've been on the teams where it's like, I've got the highest score, but we lost.
Well, we'll see. It to me, this is my approximation of non-skill based matchmaking, and I'm curious to see how our opinion changes when we do Iron Banner this next week. It seems if you're playing as a single player or 1 or 2 players, you have a little bit better time. But if you play as a full stack of 6, no matter what skill level you are, you're gonna have a rough night. And I know I'm generalizing, and I know everybody's saying, Gator, you're complaining. No, this is just factual. This is what I've done. We played 10 games that night on clan night, and we won 20% of those games, where it was almost always the opposite with skill-based matchmaking, because it evened out the teams better. But it seemed like we were just getting stomped all night. I was about ready to just turn it off, and it takes a lot to get me to turn Destiny off. But that so far, that's what it seems to be. If you play with 1 or 2 players or by yourself in Crucible, you have a little bit better time. But if you're playing in a full stack of friends, hang on. It's going to be a rough night. It may be a rough night. You may have a great night.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it just seemed like they stacked really good players against us. So
see, that's the thing too, though, is like, they want you to play in groups and teams and clans and everything else.
Right.
Then they give you a really shitty fucking experience like that.
That seems to be the norm. It's like, play as this big group, make it a big group game. And then we had that with playing competitive. Me and Stu have found that me and him will do really good together, but it always depends on our third.
Right.
Like always. Whereas if me and him go in and we play in individuals, me and him have done excellent by ourselves, because that one is all single players. Mm-hmm. And I know I've had that, because like I went in and played, and it's like our third dropped out, and damn, that was the best thing that ever happened to it. We were down like 3-0, and our other guy left, and me and this guy, we both put on our big boy, Crucible pants, and we came back and won it, and it was just like, damn.
It was fun.
But it was like we got down to the end. It was a 1v1 situation, and it was just one of those like that's the moments you want to play for.
Well, myself, Jealous, and Warcry played last night because I wanted to get for our podcast tonight. I wanted to get one more crack at it. Last night we would get slammed, or we would slam other people. There were a few games that were close, but for the most part, it was about a 50-50 split. So, we'll see. We'll see going into Iron Banner this next week. We'll see what people think then. And in our show feedback channel in our Discord, feel free to give your experience of what you're seeing right now in Crucible if you play Crucible. So, anything else, Hazel, going on this week?
No, just that. Just because, I just wanted to touch on the reissued armor or the reissued weapons, just because it's a crock. Right.
Oh. Well, before we leave, I know Baroque wasn't here last week. I just was curious, and we were going to talk a little bit of Destiny. I figured we'd just mix it in with the TWAB tonight, make it real simple. And I was just curious, what do you think of the season so far, Barbecue?
I was real hopeful that these pyramids were going to bring something. And boy, was that a wet fart. It's just like, we're here.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, and here's a new public event. Give me something.
Well,
Give me something big.
You kind of know Bungie was going to stretch it out. This is the last season.
Know.
We got the usual summer things popping up here soon. We're going to be busy with those soon. But you know what? One thing Kingsley Mack said to me, he says Bungie said they're going to have a story mission every week, and if they do that, that will save this season for me because I love lore, I love the story, and that's one thing people say. Season of the Worthy. What the hell are we doing in Season of the Worthy? There was no story. Yeah, okay. The Warmind. Yeah. We're building this up, ranking this up so he can be full power to shoot that
was like a 10-minute story.
Right, exactly. And they stretched it out over the whole season. But I feel like the whole premise is about this seed that we've collected, which ironically is our. Damn, I keep hitting my mic. Which ironically is our artifact that we unlock for the season. But it's tied into the story. I like that, how it's tied in. And every week we clear up the fog that, spoiler alert, it's not really a spoiler alert. So far, the whole story is Savathun is trying to cloud our communication with these triangle ships, with these pyramid ships. And our seed is our only way we're able to break through Savathun's treachery. And every week there's a different story on how we get to do it. So if Kingsley Mack is correct, and we have a story every week, and I think we'll be going to Titan, next week. I'm guessing, because we've done the 3 stories that's in the Triumph lore, the Triumph tab for IO, so I think we're switching over to Titan now. I'm just curious to see how it progresses.
Yeah, so, I just haven't played as much, so I haven't finished any of that. And,
right.
But like I said, I want to know. Like, I have been waiting for these damn pyramid ships forever, because it's like, all right, I beat Gaul, you see them, and then it was just like, and now they're gone.
Yeah, it was frustrating. We were treading water for a long time story wise. And, other than the initial story of Gaul or the initial story of Shadowkeep, it kind of just fizzled away from that. After that, it was just... The introduction
of Riven was great. That whole story, that had me engaged.
Right, sure.
Killing the Barons, like, that was one of those things that was great. I felt engaged in doing.
Best.
And then after that, it kind of... It seems like that was it. That was the last really I'm vested in this story piece, because even the Warmind, everything since then has just kind of been like, nah.
Forsaken seemed like, when Forsaken came out, it seems like Destiny finally got us. We had the Triumph tabs. We had these Baron bosses and stories that went along every week. It really flowed well, but it just seemed to fall off. And I guess it's just been like busy work. I'm being very general here, but it just seems like story-wise it's kind of stalled a little bit. But I'm hoping this last season we're going to ramp up to whatever's going to happen in the fall. Sorry, Hazel. I've been drowning you out.
No,
You haven't-
I agree. I think that's the thing. Like, Forsaken came out and it gave you story, not just, like new
Right.
busy, but it was like, here is a story that opens up now other things you can go do. And it just
Right.
seems like since then the seasons have been kind of like, hey, here's a cutscene, go do all the busy work. What? No, I want my damn story.
Right. That's what
Yeah.
people have said.
I don't think that, well, I mean, no offense to what Kingsley said or how he interpreted what Bungie said, but I don't really know if what we're getting right now is what I would consider story. Right now, like the shit with the triangle ships right now and what Eris is saying, to me, it's not really story. That is just lore.
Well,
Basically.
that's true. It is.
That's fluff.
You open up
That's
a new
not
lore
story.
tab. You open up a new lore
Exactly.
tab every week. It's true. You got something to read. It's like opening up a chapter of a book. You're reading a little bit of the chapter, and yeah, it may not be enough for you guys, but for me, it's good. I mean,
It's not for you. It's enough to keep you content. It's not really satisfying you though. Is
no, I mean, not completely, but all I can tell you is everybody, if you're going to do minimally anything this season, do those weekly interference missions. You really need to make sure you do those because I think that's going to be important information. And like me and Kingsley Mac were saying, what happens to people who come into this season a little late? Are they going to be able to go back and
I
get
don't
those
really
lore
think the
tabs?
shit we're doing right now matters. No offense.
I think it's going to lead up to something. I mean,
I'm
But
still
it
curious
can't,
with
though.
the sunsetting of like, the planets
right
and everything
right,
for that next thing. I'm like,
right.
like we've asked the question, like someone was like, well, does that mean all of those exotics are just going away? And I'm like,
Yes.
that doesn't seem like Bungie though. That seems like they'll provide a way that you can get anarchy still, but it just won't be. They'll have a way to get it, but it just won't be, like through the raid. It may be some other way. It may become just a faded engram or whatever, but they'll have a way to it,
Right.
but it's just not going to be
Sure.
straightforward anymore.
Right.
Because that's a typical Bungie thing of, yeah, you can still get this, but it's, in a loot pool of like 10,000 things. So good luck.
Best of luck. Go for it.
Yeah.
Have a ball.
Well,
Yeah.
go ahead, Hazel.
Well, I was looking at Braytech. I don't know if you guys have heard of this or not, but it's
Yeah.
braytech.org.
Yes.
And they have a list of, like, if you look at the exotics, and there is a shit ton of exotics that are going to basically be, either one, sunset, or two, just you're not going to be able to get them. Or they're going to, like he said, put them in a loot pool and,
I don't
just
know.
that.
They've said they're not doing anything for exotics right now. I don't know how far that extends. Nobody knows.
But
right now.
but this could be their caveat. They just said that they're not going to put a timer on it in regard to like the season kind
Right.
of thing. But this isn't putting a cap on the weapon for the season. This is limiting how many people can get it.
Yeah, if they're going to make it so you can't go get Anarchy because that raid is going away or something like that, it's like you can't go get this anymore.
Right.
How am I supposed to go? Or like Whisper. If you have no ability to go play that mission because that planet doesn't exist, how do you go get Whisper?
Right.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't think they're going to take him completely away because what happens when that becomes a meta for something?
Yeah.
Are you really going to exclude a big portion or a portion of your player base because they didn't do it in this time frame, or if they're new to the game and it didn't exist for them? I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, and just looking at the ones that are impacted by it, it's like Ace of Spades, Thorn, Rat King, Bad Juju, Outbreak Perfected. Things like that. These are all going to be impacted by it. Anarchy, Legend of Acreus, Worldline Zero, Sleeper Simulant, Whisper, Truth. It's like, I don't know. It's just kind of like, oof. But it could be one of those things, too, is this could be a way of limiting how much... in a way, it could be basically limiting what new players get. But how many new players are they really thinking that they're going to get with this?
I don't know. It could also be they're writing a mistake they made. That was one of the biggest problems I've had with Destiny 2 since start, is exotics didn't feel exotic because they started just handing them out like candy. You know, you're playing through the story, like you're level 12, like here's an exotic.
Right.
Like I didn't feel like that was like Destiny 1, my first exotic was Mida Multi-Tool. I didn't get it till I was like really late in the game. And then it felt special to me because it's like, damn, I got an exotic. And I didn't have that feel in Destiny 2. It's kind of like, oh, I need this exotic. Like, you didn't have that same thing because it's just like, there's an exotic and you get like, they're Oprah just passing them out to everybody. And like, you get an exotic and you get 7 exotics. It's like, you didn't feel that same specialness.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, okay. We can go on for a while here, and I think it's easy to say that we have definitely extended our time tonight. So, thanks for sharing your opinions on everything, guys. And anything else, Hazel, before we go?
TWAB is done.
Good deal. Well, let's move on. I think it's Twitter and Discord question time. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. We'll be right back. All right, boys and girls, it is that time of the week. This is where we get our Twitter and Discord questions from our community. We try to answer the questions as thoroughly as possible. And this includes our guests. They have to jump in too and give their opinion on these questions. So I did want to mention to everybody that we now have Speakpipe for our podcast. This is where you can ask us a question for the show directly from your mobile device. Send it directly to us. And anything you want to ask us on the show, it'll be played live on the podcast. So there are 3 ways to contact us now. You can use our Twitter. You can use our podcast questions channel in our Discord if you don't want to talk to us. And now you can visit speakpipe.com/GuardianDownCast, all one word. So you can instantly record a 90-second message, send it to us for the show. So I appreciate everybody's questions, and the link for the SpeakPipe is also in a separate channel in our Discord labeled SpeakPipe Questions. So speaking of SpeakPipe, we're going to play one that some dude sent tonight, so let's hear it. Hey, not a question, but I just wanted to thank Baroquereaper for coming on the show tonight. I'm using our new SpeakPipe way of asking questions to our podcast. I wanted to test it out tonight and see how it goes. And thank you again, BBQ, for coming on the show tonight. We were stoked all week awaiting for the show. And thank you for telling a little bit about your story tonight and hanging out with us. It's really a great honor. And suck it, Hazel. All right. Great question. Thanks for that. Got her. Thank you.
I didn't even hear a question. So.
I think it could be a question or a comment.
Was that Garter guy?
Garter. It says Garter. Oh, it was Garter. Yeah, Garter. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is Garter. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Garter snake, yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you guys do want to send us a SpeakPipe question, we're trying this out. We're seeing if you guys are interested in using it. If you are interested in using it, you just right on your, I think there's an app or a link. Just click the link and it goes, you record literally from your mic on your phone. So, all right, sale is over. Let's get to our Twitter and Discord questions in our Discord. So Hazel, why don't you go first, man? Why don't you dig in the basket there and find a question?
All right, let me dig around the sack. So, Burgrex43. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Or Tootsie Roll Pop?
1, 2, 3.
3.
Bravo.
I love it. Very good. All right.
That's my answer.
Yeah, that's if we all are old enough, we know that commercial on Saturday. You get him Saturday morning after the cartoons during commercial breaks. It was great.
Like we were all probably alive for when we thought, the little star Indian shooting the star actually meant something.
Right. Or the Indian that was on the side of the road. It had the one tear went down his cheek.
Oh,
About polluting.
Littering.
Yeah. So, all right. Next question is from Jealous. Question for the show. What is one thing you purchased for yourself that your wife was totally against? Okay. Definitely got to start with Broke on this.
Honestly, I haven't done anything like that in years because I learned my lessons early in life. A crappy surround sound system out of a dude in a van.
Oh no, you too?
Yeah.
Were you filling up gas?
Yeah.
I knew that. I
Dude,
know that
it was left over from a thing. And he just wants some money to go to the bar. And
it didn't even have a label on the box. It just said surround sound or something.
No, mine had a label, and then it's like, okay, and then it had 4 inputs that you could switch it to, but only had 3 inputs on the box to actually. I mean, it was just. I'm like, that was $50 I lost, and she wasn't happy. But
oh god, the good old days. I did that too, and but that's
that many years ago, and we've gotten to a point where it's like, anything under a certain amount usually is cool, but sure. we ask each other for big purchases.
There's like a limit where you have to converse. How many years you been married?
15.
See, you know about it.
I know.
Yeah. Hazel, what about you, man? Mrs. Hazelnut is listening.
Oh, I'm aware. I asked her. I was like, "Hey, what's the last thing I bought that you were like, yeah, that's fucking pointless?"
She goes, hold up. Let me look at my diary. Hold on, I'll give you an answer.
She's like, "Remember last Tuesday?" And you're like, "Yeah, what did I buy?" And she's like, "You don't even know?"
Yeah, that's probably true. Well, we couldn't really think of anything, so what I ended up going with was actually our dog. About maybe trying to think when it was. We bought her, and then about maybe a week in, she was like, "Yeah, no, no." No, she shreds everything that she touches. And I was like, well, we can't just take her back. I mean, we don't want to be that person, do we?
Right.
And luckily, she ended up turning a corner. And then, so, yeah, we ended up keeping the dog, thankfully.
Nice. Oh, boy, where do I start? I used to buy stuff all the time without my wife knowing. And some things I could hide, it was a problem, trust me. It was early in our marriage, and there was this 1992 Corvette.
Okay. You're reminding me of a story. When you're done, I will tell this.
Okay. I already had a Corvette that I fully put a lot of money in stored. It's a 78. I still have it to this day. But I had a little extra pocket money. I sold a motorcycle or something, and I was supposed to use it for something on the house. And instead, a buddy of mine said, hey, he was always one of these guys that could just find deals. He goes, I found this Vet, man. You got to look at it. He says, it's a 92. It's really nice and clean. And let's just say the guy was a little shady. It had a title, thank God. But we went and looked at it, and he was very mechanically inclined, looks at it and goes, oh, yeah, man, this is a nice car. This is in good shape. I remember driving it home, and I was in traffic on the interchange. It was quite a ways from my house, and I was watching the temperature gauge when it sat in traffic just keep creeping up and up and up. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it home. This thing's going to steam on me any minute. As soon as I got moving, it went right back down. So I was like, okay, I got to keep moving. Long story short, I brought it home and parked it in the driveway, and as she got home from school. And she doesn't use the F word very much. I'll just say that. And I already
did that day.
I bought a dually a long time ago too. That's the second time I heard her say the F word to me. Yeah. So I got the WTF. And let's just say it was very quiet around the house for about a month, and finally I got it painted, I got it cleaned up, and I ended up selling it. So lesson learned. Guys out there who are fairly newly married, check with your spouse before you buy a big ticket item. All right. What were you going to say, bro?
So it's a guy. It's one of my vendors, and like he wanted a new Corvette. He had one, but he wanted a newer one, and he finally found the deal, and he had the money. It was joint account, and so he just went and bought it. But then he hid the car at his brother's house, and he was in a meeting, and all of a sudden he starts getting calls from his wife, and he's like, No, I'll deal with this later, and kept it. That's how she went in the bank account and basically left him a voicemail while he was in a meeting, like, call me when you get out immediately.
That's never a good message, man.
No, you know, if you're married and you get that message, you know one of two things is about to happen. Somebody died or you're about to die. There's no in between.
It's never like call me when you get out of that meeting. I'm naked at home waiting for you.
That's the dream, but in reality, it's like, call me when you get out of that meeting.
Yes.
You're about to lose your wiener.
Exactly.
But so basically, yeah, his wife, she knew just because, and it was 3 days later after he'd already bought it that she went and saw the bank account. So, it'd been 3 days. He'd had the car hiding at his brother's house when she caught him. And he knew it was coming. So it's like, dude, you're braver than I ever would be. Because, especially now, I'd be sleeping in the basement.
Right.
Hell, I'd be living in this basement. I would not know what the other 2 floors of my house look like. That I would just, this is it. I'd be living out of my mini fridge down here, and that's it.
Yeah. I think a lot of us have been there, man. Good question. All right, Hazel. What else we got?
All right. So, let's see here.
You do this. You do this purposely, so I have to edit it out. I swear to God, you do this purposely.
No, I do. I know I do. So, Uncle Scumdeath, I've had a shit day. When was the last time you had a shit day, and why?
It always goes to you first, bro, by the way.
Oh, it always goes to me first?
Yeah.
I wasn't getting enough Scumdeath in there, Like, wow, are you getting a shite day? It's okay, now I feel better. I think that was just yesterday for me. That was the last one I had. And that was, I got to work and I didn't have a lot to do at work, but everybody kept piling up meetings for Friday. And not like Friday in the morning when I asked them to, Friday in the afternoon. So I couldn't even cut out of work early. Mm-hmm. So that, and then like I said, I had, dogs and children and everything, like just losing their crap while I'm trying to watch one show by a half-hour show, just me, watching what I want, not what they want. And that's the one time everybody's losing it because, the dog touched me. This dog's going off because that dog barked and it just, I had it yesterday. And then on top of that, I went to go move something and the stupid child gate broke. I mean, it was just one of those, everything kept piling up. So yesterday, because life sucks sometimes.
Yeah, it does. For me, I have to, I'll let Hazel actually answer last this time. For me, my job is very dependent on the weather, and Florida, it's very much like England. It's very, very temperamental. So you can have sunshine 1 hour and an hour later be a downpour. And I'm always playing the guessing game. I'm a meteorologist. I have a weather station in my office here. I'm watching humidity levels and temperatures, and I have lightning indicators, and it's crazy. I will have a day, and this happened about a couple weeks ago, where you look sun shining out, everything looks good. Okay, let's go. And once I get into work mode, it's like, it's time to go. It's time to make some money. Let's go. Let's crank it. And I'll get out there and I'll get into a groove. But you ever have those days where you just get going, pours down rain. You're sitting in your truck staring at the lawn you want to take care of. So then it clears up. Jump out. You're able to do the lawn. 2 doors down, rains again. So it just seems like someone's conspiring against you all day, and you just get home like, that was a total effing waste of time today. I just could have stayed home and played video games.
I know those days.
God.
It's like, hey, I'm going to go do this thing. And then I've had days where it's like I go in and it's like, I got these 3 hours of work. I'm going to get this done today.
Right.
Gets to the end of the day. I got absolutely none of that done. And I have more work than I started with.
There's always tomorrow, I guess, right? Always tomorrow.
Yeah.
What about you, Hazel?
Well, for me, I'd say most recently when the hose on my faucet went out.
Right.
Just because we had just finished with the furnace, that leak was just stopped and everything, and it's like, all right, life's getting back to normal. That was a modest bill, luckily, and then all of a sudden, like, my wife's like, hey, this is leaking, or there's like water down here. And I was like, oh, well, I think we just maybe like poured something out or something along those lines.
Right.
Like, it's nothing serious, I'm sure. And sure enough, it was something serious, and it ended up like damn near flooding the kitchen. It was great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was going to refer to that
because
you had like back-to-back weeks of really bad stuff in that house. Between your furnace and your plumbing. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
that's when I always love after that kind of stuff happens. Like, oh, isn't home ownership great? And you're just like, yeah, isn't getting punched in the face great?
Yeah, that's exactly my thought.
Yeah, and Truth in our Discord just working on buying a house right now. Good luck to you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yep. It's great, man. Don't listen to barbecue. It's great owning a house.
No, it is great overall, but there are just some days.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like having kids.
Yeah.
Kids are great, but there are some days where you're going to want to, not have kids.
Right. I get it, man. I get it.
You can't take them back.
They don't go back. I know. My wife has already told me, like, my last one was almost 10 pounds, and she did that with no drugs. So she's already told me, factory's closed, but also at the same point, there is no return policy.
Yeah. You ever get this? You guys ever get this? That's your kid. I'm like, what do you mean that's my kid? What do you mean that's my kid?
That all the time.
She goes, that's your kid that's acting
Oh, yeah.
out. I'm like, that's not your kid? You're not going to own it? No, that's your kid.
No, that's your kid. And like when my wife says that, it's like, all right, conversation's over.
Yeah. I try to fight
I say that all the time.
But I do it to her too. It's like your daughter, like, that's when like I'm mad.
Yeah.
It's do you know what your daughter did? And it's
exactly. Exactly, man.
I'm getting blamed for this?
Yeah. I just woke up and went to work today. What the hell did I do? I know. Let's see. Was it my turn?
I believe it is.
Okay, Uncle Scumdeath. What is your default difficulty level on a single-player game? If it's really a long game, then I put it on story mode just to progress through with no real challenge because I want to just get it finished. What do you guys think? What's your default difficulty level on like a Last of Us or something?
I haven't played Last of Us, but like Call of Duty, I found this out weird because I got the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and I just played through the campaign on Veteran. Hardest it can be every time.
Really?
That's what I've been doing with Call of Duty since the first one I bought. Like after I played through it, I'm like, oh, I got to play through it again to get okay, fine. So I just do that.
Right.
And for most games, depending on what kind, it's either normal or hard. Like because I have at points in life been an achievement hunter. I've gotten out of that, thankfully, because, that is, you want to talk about wasting time in life.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing like playing the same thing over and over and over to get, like, now I have that done. But generally,
I don't know what you're
harder.
talking about.
Yeah. I have not played the Mile High mission on Call of Duty Modern Warfare, to get that thing done. Right. I did not do it for 4 hours in a row straight. That wasn't me. No, not one bit.
Yeah. What about you?
I usually pick, harder. I don't take normal difficulty. I mean, I haven't had a game where it's like, oh, I just need to play the story. And I think that's just
right.
Me. I haven't had one of those in a while.
So if you're going to play it, just play it, play it on the hardest and be challenged, right?
Yeah.
I got you. Hazel, what level difficulty you put yours on?
I pretty much leave it on just medium.
Okay.
But if it gets too easy, or I mean, I usually will play it on easy or medium first, and then I'll go to hard next time I play it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are some games like what was it, Jedi and Fallen Order?
Right.
That shit I put all the way down on easy. I'm like, this even normal was hard. I with that one I actually ramped it up to the second to the top tier.
Okay.
And then I brought it down all the way to easy because I'm just like, Jesus, this thing is fucking insane.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I haven't had one of those games that kind of punishes you if you go above
Right.
medium or easy. And everyone's like, you should play Dark Souls, and I'm like, nah, I've already heard about that. I don't need to break my TV.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually Fallen Order. They take that a concept and put it in Star Wars.
Oh boy. Yeah.
It's a great game though.
My answer, let's see, would be what's a first-person game? What's a single-player game? I never heard of these types of games. No, I'm just kidding. Bad joke. Forget I said that. I know you already have. I usually want to play it on easy because I like the window shot. I like to sit down and watch the story like a movie. If it's a one-player, if it's a single-player game, I like to enjoy the story and not have to worry about getting one shot by something. But then I'll go to where where you're going over the different difficulty levels and it goes easy. For someone who's never played a first-person shooter, I'm like, okay, I can't pick that because I just feel bad about myself if I pick that. So I usually pick the normal mode usually. So good question. All right, Hazel, let's get a few more.
All right. Question for Jealous. Or a question from Jealous. Question for the show. What is the longest you have had to hold in a shit?
I was hoping we didn't ask this one. Shit.
Oh,
it's holding it in, so not just shit.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, this is just nightmare fuel. So I told you I drove for five years doing that, and I was 3 hours out, and I have held one for 3 hours because it was just the store I was going to. It was 9 hours from my house, and it is out in the middle of nowhere, California, and that does exist.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was all the way up by the Oregon-California border, and you just hit this section where the little towns, you kind of wonder who lives there and what they do because there is nothing there. And it was just the way that my navigation took me, and there was just nothing for an hour. And so I just had to hold it because, and any place that there was to go, you're just like, nope. My butthole is gonna get infected just looking at that, oh damn.
when your phone just gives up the ghost and goes, I don't know where we are.
Yeah, that was back in the days with TomToms and
Oh my god. Well, yeah, at least you had satellite. That's good. Yeah. Wow.
That's fun.
Well, Hazel, you're next. How long?
I would probably say around the same. Probably 3 hours, and it was just no. You start questioning all the things that you're told in life.
And that's also one of those things where it's when you get out the car, you want to run, but you cannot run.
No, you have that weird little gallop. It's like an offbeat gallop. It's like you got a flat tire and you're just kind of wobbling. It's weird to say. Yeah, it's about the same for me. I think it's about 3 hours, but yeah.
3 hours too long. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. There's been some rushes before. I got one from Chubby Wizard here. Question for the show: do you guys think the new season weapons look huge on your Guardian? I think they look a little goofy, cool but goofy. Thanks, love the show.
I've got that new bow, and it looks like someone decided, hey, I'm going to take this giant sword from Final Fantasy VII and then shape it a little and put a string on it and call it a bow.
That's a good idea. Didn't think of that.
And that's the kind of they're all just they got this cool aesthetic, but it's also just what's the widest we can make this damn weapon look?
Right.
What is the width of a pulse rifle? stacks 5 of them on top of each other, and that's the new pulse rifle. That's what we want to go for.
I got you.
But I do think they look kind of cool because they kind of have like a Tron aesthetic, but
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I just got the all right, don't hate me, okay? I just got the ornament for the Cold Denial pulse rifle. It looks pretty freaking wild.
And
It
what
says
rank is that?
I don't know, 95?
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I've almost maxed out my bar. I think I'm at 96 or something. I'm just around the corner. So, what level are you, Hazel?
Yeah. I think I'm at 36, maybe.
Oh, you're getting there. You're getting there.
Something like that.
45, you get that Cold Denial pulse. You got to get it, man.
But you even fucking get me started. Blocking shit behind a pass bar.
I know. You don't like that. Where are you at, Baroque? Or have you done the season pass?
My season pass is like 6 or 7. I really haven't played.
That's fine.
Like that's the thing. Like I got so burnt out by the middle of last season that
Yeah, I did
like
too.
and it's just been and like a lot of the guys I do play with, they like we understand, we get it. You've gotten to that point where it's like
yeah.
I got to play something else.
Yeah, I know. And you don't want to be burnt out going into a new DLC. I totally get it.
I think that's why I'm like this season. I'm kind of just going like, you know what? I think this season's going to be a wash for me,
Right.
and I think it'll do me better than if I just keep trying to force it.
Right. Yeah. I they look a little big, I guess, but I really like the weapons they have this season. I think they're really new. There's something new. It's totally different guns, not like a reskin or anything like that. And
that's kind of the cool part. Like I said, they kind of have like like they just remind me of Tron. Like,
yeah. Well, wait till you play the Prophecy Dungeon. You talk about that game. Yeah, it's Tron. It'll trip you out. Trust me.
I love Tron.
Yeah, I did too. My ringer is Tron. My actual
nice.
ringer is the theme song to Tron.
See, I like Tron. I liked the remake. I watched the cartoon that they had that kind of explained in between the two. I really liked all that stuff.
Right. What about you, Hazel? What's your thoughts on that question?
Yeah, I definitely think that they're like obscenely big. But I mean, I'm okay with it because they look pretty cool.
I just love that they've got new designs. I'm just happy with that. New content. So
it's not a bygones that they just put a different kind of skin on and like,
exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. Well, hey, thanks everybody for submitting your questions. We have a couple left. If we don't answer your question this week, we will definitely get to it next week. We never ignore a question. We always answer it, even the one about the Pokemon rap. We'll keep asking.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, I know.
I missed a poker rap question.
Yeah. Hazel was supposed to. He said he was working on the poker rap, so we'll give him another week. Jealous, one more week. All right. Well, this is the time where we're going to enter our song picks for our Spotify playlist, just like a little sample of what all of us like to listen to. And we invite you to listen to it as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify. And we're now on iTunes for all you Apple guys out there. So I'll post all the links for our playlist link if you want to follow it and see what we add every week. They're all in the show notes. And we do have a channel also in our Discord that has those links as well to choose from. So I will start with you, Mr. Baroquereaper.
Okay, I didn't go too crazy for you guys. I picked something kind of close to mainstream. So I had LaRue Bulletproof, which has got kind of a cool 80s vibe to it.
Oh, I like it.
And then something that just, was awesome right out of high school, back in the day, Butterfly by Crazy Town.
That's a great song.
Yeah, buddy.
That's a great song. Yeah. Your first song, what made you think of that song? Is there something about that song that you like, or
it's got like that 80s vibe, but not, and it's kind of like the new Weekend song, Blinding Lights. It's that song. I swear you could put it in an 80s playlist, and almost no one would even like bat an eye. I love 80s music, but
I do too.
Like I said, I wanted to give you guys something, something a little different, but not, these are what stuck out to me this week because they're kind of what I've been listening to recently, not not some of my more out there stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Which
Good.
I am very known for, apparently.
No, I've actually, every one of your picks, there's been a few that are a little out there, but most of them I follow pretty well. So, yeah, you always have good picks, man. Definitely do. Mr. Hazelnut.
All right. So the first song was actually one that it's a Spotify special. So it was one where I didn't know who the hell it was or anything else, and I just heard this kind of punk rock sort of song, and I'm like, oh wow, what the hell is this? So I look at it and I start cracking up because it's Machine Gun Kelly with Travis Barker. It's Bloody Valentine acoustic. Ooh. And it sounds just like something out of like the that punk phase of like post-modern rock, and I was just like cracking up. I'm like, this is a hilarious kind of thing. So
acoustic, all right, cool.
Yeah, so I went with that. And then my second song is Forrest Whitaker by Brother Ali. This is a song that I grew up listening to and recently found Brother Ali again, and I was just like, oh, I was like, Forrest Whitaker. And then I immediately just started putting it on, and my wife started laughing, and she's like, I remember you playing the hell out of it.
I love those kind of bands where it's like you go back and it's like, I remember this.
Oh, yeah.
I used to listen to this all the time.
Takes you right back, man.
And it's one of those, like, you also start wondering, like, why did I ever stop?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you grow up. And your tastes change as you grow up. I mean, but you still love the music. You still love that music, but, you start finding other things that you like listening to. I don't know. Well, my first pick, I was listening to JC Jesse's 80s playlist, Suck 'em on Kill a Dog, and I heard this song playing, and the memories of this group came flooding back to me. We listened to this band back in high school, and I remember this song I chose tonight being jammed at Daytona Beach in 86. We were seniors, and sometimes me and my friends would just skip school. Go for the day, go to the beach. It was only an hour away from our school, so it was really easy. This band was formed in Hanover, Germany in 1965, has performed over 2,500 concerts in over 80 countries. They also have 18 studio albums to date. This song was released as a single back in 84. It's the Scorpions with their song Still Loving You. I picked the remastered version from this. They had a 1992 compilation album called Come Black, which I really liked. They have good songs. All those songs are great. It's like all their greatest songs on there. So, and my second pick to fulfill my Casey Kasem duties, I was looking through my iTunes library and I couldn't believe I didn't have a song from this group in our playlist yet, as I have every single album, all 8 of them from this group that they've released so far. This is a British group formed in 94. It's from a large seaside town called Teignmouth in Devon, England. Their first album was released in 99. And the song I chose tonight is from their third release from 2003. The album was called Absolution. It's the song Hysteria from a little group known as Muse. This is one of my all-time favorite alt-rock groups to date. Fantastic group. If you haven't heard Muse, jealous, check it out. It is a really, really great group. Very operatic. I like operatic type rock music. I don't know what it is, but very good song. So, guys, I think we got a podcast. I think we did it. Boy, nice. that was a long trip. Are we there yet?
This is seriously like one of those, like, yearbook quotes. What a long, crazy, strange trip it's been.
It has been, man. It has been.
Yeah. It's been good, though.
Yeah, I've had a great time tonight. Just a little bit of housekeeping. We got to do the housekeeping stuff here. Just a quick reminder that we do have a Destiny 2 clan. Hazel and I invite you to be a part of it. It's just fun getting together every week, having a clan night or whatever it may be. Just having a good time. So if you're looking for a clan out there, we have a permanent link in our Discord under the channel GDC, Destiny 2 Clan. I'll put links, of course, all that in the show notes. Or look for Guardian Downcast, or DOWN is our call sign. So thanks. Hey, guys, if you like what you're hearing tonight and a Destiny fan that might like it, I always forget to do this when I'm listening to podcasts. I hear a really good podcast or one I can relate to a lot, or just has a really good topic that I like listening to, I forget to hit that share button. So if you really think you like what we're talking about tonight, hit that share button, share it with somebody. We appreciate it all in advance, and we just think we appreciate everything all you guys and gals out there do for us. So thanks. So, Mr. Baroquereaper, thank you very much, dude.
Problem.
I had a great time tonight. It was a great night. I mean, me and you, I think, could just talk forever, and Hazel could just be
Probably.
Hazel be like, but. Sorry, Hazel.
But Warzone's calling. Okay.
I got you. So where can
I could have talked Warzone. I play that too.
I know you do. I saw that on your Twitter bio also. Well, tell everybody, where can everybody find you if they want to find you?
Well, I'm going to say it as I always do. You can find me all across the interwebs at Baroquereaper.
What are you going to say, Hazel, now? Hazel's copied you and Boost.
No, I haven't.
Oh, go ahead. Where can people find you, Hazel?
All across the interwebs at HazelNT. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that is true though. Hazelnut. JZELNT.
Good deal. You can find me.
He doesn't spell it, so there.
Well,
now you're taking Stu's thing.
No, well, I kind of use the underscores, but yeah, I had no choice. It's the only way I can explain myself. You can contact me via the Twitter at Todd the Gator. Remember that's spelled GATR. You can also find me on YouTube, Steam, and PS4 as Gator, all caps, GATR, underscores in between, and Gator space GDC on Xbox. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher. Anywhere you like to hear podcast, I think you'll find us there. You can also email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com. And we're on Twitter at Guardian_D_cast for show questions, whatever you want to talk to us about. Or if you want to see all of the above, just visit guardiandowncast.com. It has a player there where you can listen to our past episodes. So it's a simple site, but it's functional. It does what it needs to do. We have a bunch of great gamers in our Discord as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast, and I'll post a show link in our show notes as well to if you decide you want to join us and talk with us. It's a great community. Continue to be safe out there, guys, and take care of one another.
Guardians are measured by their ability to come back from defeat. So stand. Fight!
And thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Toddles. I need to go back and try to find out what the hell that was.
You kidding me?
So.
I jump out of the shower and go look at my phone because it's usually to a Bluetooth speaker, and I go, "What song is that? Who picked that damn song? That's a great song." And I'll go look at
it. Obviously, you know, our songs aren't as memorable as Scum Death's because you know Scum Death's song when you're in the shower, obviously, because that's what you said.
Don't start.
My wife actually commented on that yesterday.
Did she really?
She's like, does he really like think about like playlist and who's picked the songs in the shower?
I do because it's everybody's playlist.
So you think about all of us in the shower with
No, I think about, it doesn't matter if I'm in the shower, I'm working outside or whatever, mowing the grass or whatever. I'm just like, oh, that's a cool song, man. I remember when Easy picked that one. That was a cool song. Yeah. Oh, man.
Thing, like going back and listening to our list, it's always like, I get that like, oh, yeah, that's who picked that song. Because, and it's like Boost songs were always very Boost. Like you knew Boost songs no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, and that was the thing. Like, I could definitely tell who would pick one, except for like some of those weeks where it's like, oh, everybody did Rush. Yeah. And any one of those songs could have been picked by any one of us.
Right.
Very simply. Yeah, and while he's away, I'm just going to ad-lib the hell out of this intro.
Yes, and that's the other thing I was going to say, is Gator is very much by the book. He's very much going to